Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. Here for the penultimate week of racing. It is SPA-Francorchamps, and yes, it does look like it is a very, very wet race. It is going to be an interesting one, that is for sure, to see all these drivers try and tackle this famous, iconic circuit. I am your host, Mathew Duffin, and joining me in the commentary box, as always, is PNMotorsport. PN, good evening.
Good evening, Matt. Yeah. Wonder what race conditions will be like, though, because we had fun in Pro-Am last night.
We did have fun in Pro-Am. It was very changeable last night. Race 1 went from the damp conditions to the dry. We had a bit of a wet qualifying, or a damp, greasy qualifying, I suppose, because obviously the server got reset, so we had that second qualifying, which was a bit of damp, into that drier stuff towards the end of that, which we then had a dry second race. So, changeable conditions throughout the evening. Tonight's going to be what seems to be already very similar, because it was dry at the beginning of this practice session that got reset, that got started 40 minutes ago. It has recently became greasy, then damp, into them wet conditions. It did say on the weather forecast that it was going to dry within that half an hour mark going into the back end of this free practice. It's now changed to wet again and only decreasing in rain. So these guys tonight, could be in for another night of changeable conditions.
Yeah, they could be. It's, as I say, going to be interesting. Well, Spa's well renowned for its rain. Many of Grand Prix or World Endurance races have happened here in the rain.
GT World Challenge 24 Spa have as well, haven't they?
Yeah, one in World Endurance race about 2019, it snowed.
Yeah.
In April.
Yeah,
1 year.
So let's see what will happen. Now, there is a little shorter grid tonight. We've got a lot of drivers away working or on holidays at the moment, so it is a shorter grid tonight. But also, Pen, a lot of drivers never confirmed. So this, for the grid for people tonight, is going to be very interesting. So for the likes of Mike and Dan, who get bumped up the grid, as does everybody else, have a few drivers starting behind them. Burrabex was one who didn't confirm. Neither did Remy Fernie. So that's already two drivers behind him that would have started in front going into this massive championship battle.
Yeah, and it helped Mike, Dan possibly overtake her, and Alex, because Alex is a bit further up the grid than them as well, and he is here. I think all he's had is wet weather on him so far. He's changed colour of the car again.
Has he? We're currently watching Sam. Let's go and check on board Sully, and as a reminder to those drivers, you may see certain cars not with windscreen wipers on, all lights very well. That is because they are the Xbox players, let's not forget, and their cars, due to us being on the PlayStation platform bringing you this broadcast, don't seem to... This is Kunos who needs to sort obviously this issue out. We're not able to see their lights or their windscreen wipers, so it's not that they've got them off. They will have them on, that is guaranteed. And yes, it's going to be interesting to see. But we have a massive, huge championship fight on, don't we? Like you said, Alex is in the running for this. He's gone to a white and gold car for tonight. But he's in that fight with Dan and Mike. He really caught Dan and Mike at Suzuka and has put himself in a good position this season.
He has, yeah, and can't have a V8 Aston. It's a pity I'm missing the V12 this week. No Hoffner.
So the grid... Go on, sorry.
I don't think there'll be many more races we're going to see the V12 out unless we do something pre-2018.
Yeah. The grid order, though, looks a little like this. 593 points is Dan Davis, who leads the championship by 15 points from Mike Matthews. Alex Powell is then 85 points behind, but in recent weeks, PN has had the upper hand over Mike and Dan.
He has, yeah. He's been getting the results while Mike and Dan seems to be falling over each other, apart from Dan's excellent pole position last week at Suzuka.
Oh, it was a fantastic pole position. Just to note as well, look at that. The rain that was getting lighter in 30 minutes is now getting heavier. So, again, these conditions constantly changing here at Sport tonight. Gary Leach is fourth place in the championship. He's currently away up in Birmingham. Overtaker is P5, a chance to go above Gary Leach tonight. Then it is Jamal Clouden, Sky Schundelmeyer, Joe not here with a migraine, Graham not here because of work, Remy Fernie, then Paolo, Simon Blair, Luke not here, Esteban Burrabex, then Sully, Sam, Seri not here, De Hoffner not here. Jay Ward not currently here. P. Williams, Darren Yo at work. Tarkowski not here. Andrew Taylor's back this week, so a chance for him to climb up a few positions in this table. M. Harris and Lossa Coutiers. DeFizz, Dennis Newman, Glowbrighter Graham, Borcher, Shaggy, Den Brave Tech Leader, Costa, Mr. Marshall, and Roy. So what should be a 30-car grid? We actually have 15. We are half of the cars on the grid. And these times that we're seeing, PN, aren't reflective at the moment because we only had a green surface in the dry conditions.
Yeah, man. Green is just as slippery as a wet sometimes. Oh, yes, but you're definitely not getting the rubber down. And now any little hint of rubber they were putting on the track, gone. It's gone.
So as they were started trying to make that track fast, it was obviously now washed away, and that is going to be washed away massively as again them clouds, PN, in half an hour look change back to heavy rain clouds, so we really have got mixed conditions. The Constructors' Championship can be won tonight and probably will be won tonight. BTC Jaeger Racing are hanging on in there, but with no Gary Leach tonight, SimPlay Racing look like they're going to take the Constructors' Championship. The Haggis Munchers, a P30 from Team FBR, they cannot win it, neither can the Ottinger All-Stars. Button Basher Racing can gain on the Ottinger All-Stars massively with honour their drivers here. Stage 2 Motorsport, they have got they've got Borough Becks here tonight, so we'll see what they can do. Greasy Bandit with Clouden will look to try and move up the order. Red Rum Racing, they look like they're going to be out of the fight for the best independent team. BDM Motorsport could catch a lot of points on them. No Effect Motorsport driver, then JB Racing. Two Old Ams who could hopefully go above JB Racing. They're only 2 points behind tonight, so you imagine Monkey Boy would do that. And then the Audi Sport Racing team. But let's talk about the championship leader, Dan Davis. We spoke about that mega pole position that he had last week. It was an outstanding pole position from Dan Davis, who left it very late on, PN, right at the death, to put that lap time in. He's a bit wide through there. That's not going to hurt him too much in the wet bar and validating his lap. What's he got to do tonight to replicate his pace from last week, to carry on this championship momentum? We saw race 2 wasn't his friend, got the stop-go penalty. But he's got to try and outscore Mike. 15 points is the gap.
He has got to try. Well, pole, that's another point off. Fastest lap, another point. But with Overtaker out there as well, and Alex, two rapid guys, even though the lap times won't be reflecting that now because it was dry earlier and now it's got wet. And now at 10 minutes it changes to stop raining again.
And then we have Mike Matthews, his championship rival and teammate. Not only can the team win the Constructors' Championship tonight, but Mike Matthews, let's be honest, he's had an outstanding season. But recent form has gone that way of his teammate Dan Davis.
You could say it's ebbing and flowing between them. But Mike might be stronger here at Spa because it might favour Ferrari more. But it might favour McLaren. Not McLaren, Lamborghini. Well, obviously it is on favour McLaren because they're fastest. And half the grid's pretty much in the McLaren. Mike,
though, has got work to do. Obviously, he's never been in this position in a championship before. Dan Davis has been here 7 times. He's looking for that 8th. So Mike's really got to dig deep in these final 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's got to... He's got to pull the rabbit out of the hat, haven't he, really? And just go for it and get his first. So.
It's going to be interesting to see what Mike can do. Obviously, Alex, outside back. Sky Shundermeyer, Cloud and Overtaker and Gary Leach can still win the championship. It's a bit more unlikely for them guys to win it, but they're all still in it. 7 drivers look for it, but it's realistically them 3 that can win it. PM, we look at Sport, we look at Kyle Army. What car would you say, Lamborghini, Ferrari, would be the best suited to these tracks? Most importantly, you have to say Danny's looking at 8 championships, Mike's looking at 1. It is going to be... what car is the better one, basically? Because we know the driver calibre. Dan, 7-time champion. Mike, only a 4-time race winner.
Yeah, well, I'm biased, right? So I'm going to say Ferrari.
In an unbiased opinion?
I'm still going to say for Ferrari.
Well.
I would go with a Ferrari. Because there's just not many Lambos out there. We've got well, P. Williams isn't here this week at the moment, and the others are in,
Yeah.
and the others are in Pro-Am.
Exactly. There's only 2 Ferraris out there on the grid. And there's an outside shot at the minute. Alex Powell's in the pits. We're not going to go on board him, but what does Alex have to do? Because we said that Dan's had the rub of the green over Mike in the last previous couple of weeks. Alex has had the momentum over the pair of them going into the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, Alex is the one with nothing to lose at all. So he's going to go for hell for leather and win. He's going to go for the wins. He's 85 points behind.
Yeah.
The only way he's going to get the points is by beating Mike and Dan.
He is indeed. One man we've not seen out the pit lane yet is Overtaker. Great week for Overtaker last week, a win and a second place. Great to see him back at his best form. Not yet been out on the circuit. He's still mathematically in the championship. It's probably not going to be that way for him at the moment. Fat Bloke just saying that P. Williams was lost internet. He is trying to sort it to be in tonight, so we do hope to get P. Williams on the track. But for Overtaker, great team back to form last week. What's he got to do tonight, PN, to upset the apple cart at the front of the pack? Because him and Sully have got great pace between them where they can upset Dan, Mike Matthews and Alex Powell.
Yeah, well, again, go for wins.
Yeah.
The most points is the race win, isn't it? Race win, and then fastest lap, and then pole for race 2, and then again.
The problem with the shorter grid, though, isn't it? There's obviously a lack of points to be pulled away from drivers. Obviously, Mike hoping for the more cars on the grid to pull them points away from Dan. With them lack of cars on the grid, you know, that's going to be a bit of a downside towards Mike's championship run.
It is, yeah, and well, you definitely need more cars on the grid, even though he probably ain't complaining with 15 cars on the grid because it'll be less likely to be incidents, but then again, no, it could always happen.
Yeah. Then again, though, El Rouge, we saw last night, you know, both races. El Rouge, lap 1, it doesn't matter where you are, and let's be honest, Mike and Dan could be in the thick of it here.
They could. Well, not counting our aborted start we had last night. So,
we're not going to speak about the aborted start.
But yeah, well, Rouge Pro-Am got through relatively clean. It was Blanchimont that all fell apart. And the run down towards Blanchimont.
It was all the run down towards Blanchimont, which was the interesting thing to notice then. So it's going to be quite it's going to be quite the race we're going to see, I think, here.
Yeah, it's going to be action-packed, so make sure you don't go anywhere. As P. Williams is probably shouting at his ISP right now.
Yeah. He probably is. He really is. Hopefully he gets back in. Ian Gray saying, what's with the grid if they bottled it? They possibly have bottled it, but evening to Ian Gray, evening to Micro J's, and evening to MB Pitts as well in the chat, as well as Fat Bloke and P. Williams. Evening all. Not happy I have no internet in my SIM cabin at the moment. On hold with my ISP currently. So that's obviously what he was on about a moment ago. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, I would be hot on everything under the sun. But no, and threaten to take your custom elsewhere. Because then they do everything for you when you say that. Go, right, I'm off elsewhere.
Right, so we are currently on board Sam. A few drivers not yet out on circuit. Here is Andrew Taylor at the moment, who will be trying to go around and do as best he can. Not seen him out there for a few weeks at the moment. Hopefully, he'll be in for a good couple of points or a good couple of races here tonight.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. If I have a moment, guarantee top 15 finish. If you finish. But not done a valid lap yet. He's still been. I think he's done quite a few laps. Let me just check on timetables. Where are you? he's done 4 laps. So he's done a few. Overtaker's done 6 laps, as and Global Rider's
Overtaker's actually been out on track. Right, fair enough. So Overtaker's been out there on the track. Good evening to Hypertech and Jamie Brazier out there as well. Great. See them boys in as Andrew Taylor has a big bounce off of the wall.
That wasn't flat, was it?
No, I don't think that was flat. I wouldn't say that was flat either.
That definitely wasn't flat. I think Glowbrighter's on the grass as well. He tried to take it flat. Not in the wet, unless you've got all the downforce in the world. So then you've got no downforce down the straight.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Drag. I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
Long season.
Right, so all drivers in the pits. Glowbrighter, we've not been on Glowbrighter yet. There he is in his blue and yellow liveried BMW, looking nice as always. The BMW, one of the nicest looking cars on the grid in my opinion. M. Harris as well in his blue BMW. M. Harris has been alright. He's been a bit of a surprise, hasn't he, in recent weeks? He obviously joined us at Monza. He's picked up a few good race results.
Yeah, not too bad. Getting them results. And pro's very competitive, so...
Yeah.
I think Glowbrighter's on slicks. Because he's got the yellow sidewalls. And when you're on wets, they don't have any lettering on.
I'm wondering if that's another... He's got white... Oh, yeah, he has. But I'm wondering if that's because he's Xbox. I'm wondering if that's a little...
No, because Sully appeared. Sully's appeared, right? Hang on, let's find another Xbox user.
Harris out on the circuit.
I can't see Borough Bex's. But it could be. No, I don't see any yellow sign rating on Harris's car. As he brakes for the bus stop. Oh, all the configurations that's had over the years. The bus stop chicane. I can remember when it literally was a bus stop back in the 90s.
Yeah, it literally was. So let's see what these drivers can do then as we head into the back end of this race. This is going to be an interesting race for sure around this Spa circuit. 5 minutes left on the timer. So this is going to be absolutely fantastic to see what goes on. And it's going to be a crucial one to see for these drivers in terms of what they can do and what will they do in this session. PN, in your opinion, who's going to take his first race win?
Probably Sully, because Sully's a bit further up the grid than the rest. Because on the reverse grid, he's probably right at the front, isn't he?
But I think it's about P6, but Overtaker starts, I think, 10th. So,
tell you, because people not confirming in time. Well done. Yeah, I want to go with Sully.
Sully
like Alex
yourself.
too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to be different. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Mike. Let's go a different shout. Let's go Mike for the race win.
Well, again, we don't know. It might not be raining for the race because it's hour and about an hour out after the end of practice, isn't it?
Yeah,
when
exactly.
It's scheduled.
Now, the rain has stopped briefly, but it is coming back in the next 10 minutes, so the track's still wet. Obviously, the conditions are going to start to be getting better now. Yeah, it is really throwing up some interesting weather tonight here at Spa.
It is. Good job we ain't got the Nordschleife yet, because that'd be really interesting.
I imagine that one is not going to be too far away at the moment. Andrew Taylor's still not done a lap. He's currently sat out there at the moment.
Let's also hope that we don't get the issues we had when they dropped Red Bull Ring and the GT2s. Though it was hilarious seeing cars go falling through space and time.
Yeah. Let's see what'll happen. Well, like you say, when they brought the Red Bull Ring and the GT2s and cars are just dropping off the map, let's hope they take the time a bit more with the Nordschleife, especially being it such a big update when it does come to the ACC platform. And obviously the big thing of they pretty much announced as well Assetto Corsa Evo, basically Assetto Corsa 2. Will that continue to bring updates to the Assetto Corsa Competizione platform?
Again, the only people who know that will be Hunos.
Yeah.
And they're not exactly the biggest dev team in the world.
No, but at the same time as well, they don't seem to ever really announce a great deal.
But we don't know what's going to be in Assetto Corsa Evo. It could be literally the whole of Assetto Corsa Competizione is in Evo. As well as prototypes and Formula cars.
It's Dan's
some
Lamborghini
road cars.
coming in towards Blanchimont now.
Either way, I will be buying it.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Will I buy it on both platforms? That's the other question. Another question. Do I have a PlayStation and an Xbox?
Oh, Dan has missed the chicane by a country mile there. And, yeah, whether that's the wet catching him out or he's just hit a puddle under braking or, missed his braking, it's going to be interesting.
At least there's no invisible walls like jut out and murder you like they did on Project Cars 2.
Well, I think it may have actually been Mike back at SPA Season 1, Project Cars 2. Hit that imaginary wall coming down towards El Rouge where Dan's heading now. Hit an imaginary wall and bounced out, and I believe it was Mike Matthews. It may have been Kieran Argent. And no, it was Mazda and Kieran Argent who narrowly avoided him coming into El Rouge. But yeah, that was hilarious when Mike did that. And of course, I think Dan said about Fury and LMP2's back on another channel at this track. Hit the invisible wall and ended up in space. His car flew that high. So no invisible walls for the drivers tonight. We're not dropping through the track. Yeah, it's all going to be go.
There used to also be an invisible wall on, I think it was the first Assetto Corsa on the Monza combined circuit.
Right.
Where you got with the oval as well, and it was literally underneath the banking. You had a car width to the right, what you can get through. If you try to go onto the inside to go into a Scavi, you hit it head on and destroyed car.
I'm sure it was Mike Matthews who did that though back in the GT3 Season 1. If we get the chance to speak with Mike tonight, we'll have to see. We'll speak to him about it. So let's see what these drivers are going to do around here. It's been a long time. It's been one of the favourite circuits at SimPlay Motorsport. It's been ran here quite a lot. And looking back at the most successful drivers, Max Mulder, 1 pole position, 2 race wins, as is myself. Andy, 2 pole positions and 2 wins. Fury, 1 and 2. Mazda, 1 and 2. Overtaker, 2 poles, 2 wins. Dan Davis, 2 poles, 2 wins. The Ripper took a pole and 2 wins. De Silva, 1 pole, 1 win. We've had Holty, Dennis Newman, and Plava, Big Boy Brazier, Welshie, Deeks, Nexus, the Noza Kart Champ. Sakula, in fact, Nexus was on the 2.4 hours of Spa. Noza Kart Champ, Sakulovic, Jay, Wolfinator, Dean Wasoki's got 2 poles here, Gary Ukbar, Nicky, Mike Matthews, he has 1 pole position here as well as last night's winners and pole sitters.
And of course next week we go to Carl Army, where there's some person with a 66 as a race number who has a win there. Mike's confirmed in YouTube chat that it was him.
Yeah, I thought it was Mike who hit the wall. Yeah. If I remember rightly, I don't know if Mike is still listening to the stream before the session, he got 2 punches, even though Project Cars didn't say he'd got the punches. And that, if I remember, he'd gone to the pits, because this tyre graphic didn't say he had a puncture. He'd pitted, repaired the damage, gone, but didn't change tyres and was still sort of all over the place. So if Mike is listening to that, I hope he can confirm that for us, because I believe that was the case.
And we are dry. Well,
we are dry. We're greasy. But look at the weather.
It's just changed.
Dan saying that his first ever SimPlay race was here. It was. And I remember now because it was also D-Biggs. Yes, there he goes. D-Biggs hit me. And as we know, D-Biggs carried Unorthodox for 3 championship wins.
So, yeah, it's gone greasy and the weather's changed. And it's going to look like now be a fully dry race. And you wouldn't want to be on the wets and greasy conditions.
Mike did confirm there what I've just said in the chat. So he did have the puncher that then led to him having the 2 punches. The weather, though, PN, this is the big one.
Yeah. How much driveway running have these guys done? As they're now making sure they got the final setup. Only 15 cars tonight.
20 seconds.
Yeah, 15. P. Williams obviously not having the internet sorted. Had to drive all the way around with a very shaky wheel. I believe Mike would have been on the G29 back then. So, yeah,
So
but greasy PN.
Feedback challenge.
Greasy with light cloud. If this tyres, wow, okay.
Yeah. I know it. Oh,
Globe Writers missed the start. Yeah.
I know what. I actually, in the sprint race last night, did pit for slicks. I put slicks on the car.
Yeah, but we started off damp.
Yeah.
It's damp. So this is going to be the interesting one to see. Right, Sully, M. Harris, A. Taylor or Sam, your top drivers, seeing as they are technically now the top four. Sully pretty much going from fourth place. And this is going to be interesting. I may have to surf over people's channels and see who's on what tyre.
You can tell with the side lighting on the car wheels.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Globe Writers was saying he was on slicks when it was wet.
He was on.
And again, now the clouds have changed to thick clouds. We just don't know. Even we don't know in the commentary box. The weather cannot make its mind up tonight. So it was light cloud, a bit of sun and cloud a minute ago. Now it's changed to cloud.
Imagine if we were actually at the circuit. You'd be putting your hand out the console.
You'd literally. It's like watching the Formula One, where drivers report rain, and it goes to someone on the pit wall, and you'll see like Christian Horner with his hand out, just like, no, JP, tell him there's no rain. It's bone dry here, and this is what we have here tonight. Nobody knows that weather radar is not doing anything. Yeah, this is this is going to be an interesting one to watch.
You would be on slicks.
Yeah, so the clouds have changed. Everything's changing. We don't know what is going on. Nobody now knows. And the thicker cloud PN might not lead to it drying. This is going to be interesting. We asked for a mix. You know, Spa was set up as mixed weather. We've got mixed weather.
Yeah, I would be on slicks.
Oh, M. Harris has just nearly dropped it, warming his tyres up.
I would be on slicks. I wouldn't even risk the wets because they just overheat so quickly. And we don't have intermediates as an option in World Challenge. No, they still have them in Hypercar, I think.
Now, the question, PN, if people are running dry tyres, they're going to struggle to be getting them warm, and the PSIs could be all over the place.
Well, I pumped mine right up, I did. That's when I pitted to put them on. That's the beauty of that nice long pit lane. You had time to actually put the tyre pressures right.
This may be a case. Now, this is where we need our pit lane reporter, Micro J's. He'd have the streams up to tell us who's running dries or wet tyres. And, this is going to be such an interesting race.
The next 20 minutes are going to be fun.
Yeah.
And then we've got the 45-minute feature later where, again, we don't know what the weather's going to be.
No, and let's not forget, the weather clouds have changed in practice and now in the race. What if they change in a moment to have a bit of drizzle at the end of this?
Or now. It's just starts
Or
raining.
now, yeah. Or now if people have picked dries and then it's like, oh no, it's going to rain. Nobody's going to know what's going to happen. This is going to be fantastic. It votes in the comments who you think is going to win. Paul Williams not able to get in. He says Sully from P5. P4 now looks nailed for the win.
As Globewriter, not Globewriter,
and the thing to notice, PM, as well, was last night with the damp conditions, there was 28 cars that cleared all that and made it go to a sort of greener circuit. There's only 15 cars tonight.
Yep.
Not as many.
And the air temp's only 14. Which is not probably accurate now because with this African plume hitting, it's been a lovely day, around 20 degrees here in the UK.
It has been. Dan Davis is on the dry tyre, says Paul Williams. So Dan Davis on the dry. Jamie's got fingers crossed for Wayne. We're not yet going to go.
No, because we use the Spa.
I reckon the way Harris is still weaving that BMW around, and you see Dan in the background, I think Harris is with Dan Davis on the dry tyres because them two are absolutely caning the tyre warm-up down this start-finish straight.
Can P. Williams be our pit lane reporter as well? As he can't get on at the moment, unfortunately. Say a lot of things to ISP.
This is where we need Micro J's in the comms box as our pit lane reporter, Micro Ted.
With the shorts. Who used to be pit lane reporter when it was on BBC?
Louise Goodman, if I remember rightly. Right, they're
No,
going side by side now, and it is green and go here as they come down towards El Rouge and Radion for the first time tonight. Harris side by side with Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy backs and giving him the room that he needs. They all come up through El Rouge and Radion now. Is it all squeaky clean? It looks so far to be an absolute great start from the pro drivers. No, Mike's in the wall, and Dan Davis has managed to get through. Sully, though, is on the moves. Mike has been in the wall, and I don't know how big it was. I only caught the end of it. Sully going side by side with Andrew Taylor, and now goes up the inside before they come. He's into second place. It is a great start from Sully, but as we drop down the pack, Overtaker and Alex Powell going side by side. Alex going up the inside through the left-hander. Overtaker's so wide, he's gone round the outside of Paolo, who's been nudged off. Alex gets ahead of Overtaker. It has all gone off there, and Paolo, I believe, has gone off. Borough Beck's now in the thick of things with Overtaker. He's got Dan Davis right up behind him with Ramey Fernie, then Mike Matthews, Globewriter out the pits, and I believe it's Paolo who has definitely dropped behind. He's not dropped behind Globewriter, but out front it is M. Harris from Sully, from Andrew Taylor, then it is Simon Blair, Sky Schundelmeyer side by side, and up the inside of that looks to be Clouden attacking the back of Sky Schundelmeyer, then with Alex Powell right on the back of him, and Clouden and Tibbs going tooth and nail at the minute. Clouden going to look up the inside of Tibbs going into the chicane. Alex Powell might try and follow through, but he'll be on the outside for the next part. Clouden gets it done. Alex Powell could not get it done, and now Clouden on the back of then Simon Blair. In fact, he's going to look up the inside of Simon Blair, and it's only just a look behind. Great clean start to this race. Only Mike with damage.
Only Mike with damage, and Sully's already over the back of Harris. So, and how strong the McLaren is. Might be a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, in the dry, this race, this McLaren looks absolutely nails at the moment. Jamal Clouden right on the back, Sky Schundelmeyer. Alex Powell has got ahead of Exis Tibbs, who's Sky Schundelmeyer, sorry, he's got the overtaker going right around the outside, but he's missed his brakes a little bit. He's gone so deep, manages to keep the car side by side with Tibbs. Where has Tibbs gone? Where has Tibbs gone? Tibbs has gone into the pit lane.
Dan's around.
So Dan's had a spin and Tibbs is in the pits. Why is Tibbs in the pits?
Did he start on Sweats? Hang on.
I'm not sure. Did Smokey and Dan come together, though? Because Smokey, Ramey Fernie, apologies, is also still down the back of the pack and has dropped it again. Was Tibbs on the wet tyre? Harris! Oh, what a run from Sully on the top of Radion. They go side by side down the Kemmel Straight. Sully around the outside of Radion, and he's got the move done. That is a great overtaking manoeuvre. Now Clouden is attacking the back of Sam and Andrew Taylor. They're side by side. Sam might look up the inside of Andrew Taylor into Lake Com, and he's not going to yet. Clouden around the outside, bit of contact made, and Clouden trying to force the door, can't do so. What about Alex and Overtaker? Overtaker is trying to fight the back of Alex Powell like there is no business here. Tibbs was on the wets, so Tibbs has pitted for the dry tyre. That's a shame he didn't go one lap more, because that's him pitting twice, and now all of a sudden the pit window's open, the track has gone to green, so it is slicks conditions.
It is definitely slicks conditions, so Sully's probably now going to disappear.
Oh, Overtaker and Alex make contact, sorry PM! Overtaker was up the inside at Pooh on Alex and has made a bit of contact there. It was the front of Alex to the rear of Overtaker. Overtaker's gone very, very wide. I don't think has lost the position. Mike Matthews now making moves into the chicane. He's heavily got damage down the left-hand side of his car. As there you see behind is that of Paolo, and Sam, I do believe, has had a moment. He's dropped down the order, so that puts another car between Mike Matthews and Dan Davis.
It does, and Globewriter's actually caught up to the back of it slowly, as Sully's now got a second lead with Taylor hanging on to third, apparently, at this phase of the way.
He is at the minute, but he's got Jamal Clouden right behind him. Alex Powell still ahead of Overtaker. He's heading down, hunting down that of Simon Blair. Clouding really gaining on the back of Andrew Taylor at the moment. Turns into the corner. Little loose for Andrew Taylor there. Comes through the left-hander of the chicane.
Taker's in.
Taker straight in. Not messing around here. He's going for that early stop.
He is. Mike's followed in, as has Paolo.
Paolo in as well, so will Mike Matthews repair the damage? What about Dan and Smokey? No, I believe Dan Davis and Ramy Fernie carry on their way. We're watching Jamal Clouden on the back of Andrew Taylor. He's having a look up the inside at the bottom of Eau Rouge. That's going to be brave. He's backed out of that manoeuvre. So Overtaker possibly looking for the undercut on Alex Pau as they come up through at the top of Eau Rouge and riding on the track being green though, Pien. It is still going to be slippery out there.
It is. There's no rubber at all on the racing line, or no marbles on the outside either, which would be nice. Oh, not the straight line.
Oh, Clouden round the outside of Lecombs on Andrew Taylor, and now manages to just get the move done, and a bit of a clip there on the rear of Andrew Taylor on Clouden, and that is a good move.
Yeah, while Overtaker, Mike or Paolo still have not stopped into their box. This pit lane's so long.
This pit lane is so long, and this is the problem for these drivers. If you look at Overtaker, Sully is already pretty much coming towards Blanchimont. Overtaker's still not stationary. Mike has just stopped. Paolo is now stopped. Overtaker's just stopped. Mike is now away. Overtaker's now away. Oh, I thought Overtaker hadn't done his stop then. It didn't flash green straight away. So Overtaker out, Mike out, Paolo not out just yet. And Sky Shundermeyer is only just at the last chicane, so he is still behind everybody else. But Andrew Taylor is now got Simon Blair and Alex Power as a train, and this could be where Overtaker PN pulled that strategy over Alex Power and got that position done on the pit stops.
It is, yeah, because...
Oh, was that contact between Alex and Simon?
It was through Stavolo. I'm not calling it Campos, it's Stavolo. It will always be
So
Stavolo.
That's allowed a bit of breathing space for Andrew Taylor. Now Sam has got a quick and determined Dan Davis on the back of him. Dan's going to go to the outside here of Blanchimont. Around he goes. It's going to be a brave move, and he's got it done before the tighter part of Blanchimont. And it is a great move from Dan Davis there. And he now heads to the bus stop chicane. He's flashing the lights, not sure why. But as he flashes the lights, it is a great overtake from Dan Davis, who looks like he's got a bit of front and rear damage, PN, on that Lamborghini. Cloudon's in.
Clouden is in. As is Taylor.
Yeah, and Simon Blair. And everybody else stays out. So let's see where Andrew Taylor, where Overtaker, comes out ahead of these other drivers then, because he was the man who stopped early. He was the man who stopped first in this race. He's got Mike Matthews only 1.1 seconds behind, so as long as Mike can stick to the back of Overtaker here, he might be able to follow him through. Overtaker was a little further up the road than Mike Matthews, so a good stop from Mike was pretty much key here. Dan clearly fancying to go long, but Dan's off. There's a yellow flag in his car 16 at the top of Eau Rouge. What has Dan Davis done? There doesn't look to be much damage on that car on the front. I think it's more on the rear. And here comes Glowbrighter to get past Dan Davis. He's got ahead.
That wasn't flat then, was it, Dan?
So another mistake for the championship leader. Mike Matthews must be rubbing his hands together. They know they're pretty much going to win the constructors. It's a inter-team battle, and Alex Pau sat in P3 at the moment.
It's Senna, Prost at McLaren. It's Webber versus Vettel. It's Nico Rosberg versus Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, indeed it is.
Taker's jumped everyone in the pits. Right,
stop-go penalty. Simon Blair, stop-go penalty. We'll go back to the Overtaker because he has jumped everybody in the pits. Did he jump Clouden? I believe he did. Yes, he did. Mike Matthews also jumped Clouden. So a great undercut from Mike Matthews here has put Clouden, Simon Blair and Paolo behind him. Simon Blair with a stop-go. That might benefit Dan. Obviously, depending on if Dan repairs the damage or not. But Mike Matthews at the minute, that undercut with Overtaker seems to have worked.
It was a very good strategy call. I did see someone taking the Rouge, not the racing line.
And Globewriter versus Dan is the closest battle on track. Globewriter 4/10 ahead of Dan Davis, but you wonder what damage Dan Davis has. It looks like it's all rear. I don't think Dan gained any more damage from that spin at El Rouge there, but at the moment this is going to be interesting, Pien, to see what happens. Paolo also close to the back of Jamal Clouden. We'll go back to that. Not quite as close as Globewriter and Dan goes to the outside. Globewriter defending the inside. And he's gone deep as Globewriter. He's turned back. He's come back across Dan into the pit entry.
Yeah, that's a bit naughty.
Very naughty. Very naughty.
He should have waited a lap.
Dan's done well not to hit him there.
Yeah, Dan did very well not to hit him. But that was a very, very, very naughty by Globewriter. He should have realised Dan was there and waited and did another lap.
So Jamal Clouden at the minute has that of Paolo and Simon Blair, but Simon Blair has got to... in fact, hang on. Paolo's dropped it. He's in the wall and backwards. Andrew Taylor gets past. Guy Schundelmeyer still last at the moment, but Paolo has dropped it all on his own. Will Simon Blair come into the pits? Alex Powell trying to hook down after M. Harris. He now, while he's got clear air, needs to pump in good lap time after lap time here to make sure he gets that jump over Overtaker.
He does. He is catching Harris.
Simon Blair in.
To do his stop go. Globewriter's still not at his box.
So just over the halfway stage of this race, it is Sully who is fastest lap and race leader at the minute. From then M. Harris 6 seconds behind. Alex Power is 3.5 behind Sully. Then it is S2M Borough Bex. Then it is Sam, Ramey Fernie, Dan Davis. Then it is Overtaker, Mike Matthews, Jamal Clouden, Andrew Taylor. Then it is technically Globewriter, although Paolo will come past him now. Sky Schundelmeyer into the pits as well. So Globewriter, then... so it should be Paolo, then Globewriter, then it'll be Simon Blair, then it'll be Sky Schundelmeyer. But Simon Blair's race... Paolo had contact with Simon Blair. That's why Paolo was round apparently there. But it is Alex Power who's took another 3/10 out of M. Harris. He needs to make sure he jumps Overtaker and then pit stops.
Yeah, he does. Will Alex go as long as possible? He's got time for another 2 laps, roughly?
Yeah, 2 laps I'd say. Well, he stays out. M. Harris is now in, so he's going for the undercut on M. Harris. So this is going to be interesting to see Overtaker towards M. Harris, as Overtaker was the man who pitted first, and M. Harris was well up the road from Overtaker. So the difference in the gap here, you could see the number 34 slow on the track map as he heads down towards turn 1.
Overtaker's in Stabilo.
Yeah, he is. So... yeah, I think Overtaker's got the jump. Mike could be close to having the jump.
He could be, yeah. I've got my eye on Taker. So he's now coming towards Blossom now.
Simon Blair stop go cleared, but I feel he's dropped behind Exis Tibbs at the moment.
Schundelmeyer.
Track is still green, and here comes Overtaker now. M. Harris, I believe, is stopped. Is he? No, he's still going slightly. So M. Harris is still going in the pits. Overtaker, fastest lap of the race. He's flying at the moment. Harris stops now. Where's Overtaker? He's through turn 1. Harris is now dropped and away. Here comes Overtaker. When is Harris off of the pit limiter? This could be tight, coming up to the top of El Rouge. Harris is now away. So Overtaker and Mike did not get the jump. There is Overtaker. There is Mike in the background. And M. Harris at the moment is on his way out of the pit lane and is so far been jumped by Overtaker, who gets the better run up through El Rouge and Radion due to not having to worry about them little orange bollards. And now Mike Matthews can head after M. Harris. So Overtaker here, that early pit stop for Overtaker, really putting him in the driver's seat.
It is, so that means he's probably going to jump Alex once Alex boxes.
Yeah.
But not Sully, because Sully's so far
Sully,
down the road.
Sully was 6 seconds up the road from Harris when Harris pitted, so that's an extra 3 seconds. Actually, you say that, look, 2.5 to Harris, so... we'll jump Alex Power, but he'll be about 4 or 5 seconds behind that of Sully when Sully pits, depending on what pace he puts in, because Sully has done another fastest lap of the race. He's took it back away from Overtaker. And PN, the bonus here is this track is going to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up every lap these drivers do.
Yeah, it is. I mean, watch it be soaking wet for practice and to qualify. And all that rubber.
All that rubber that they've laid down in race 1, gone. Yeah.
Yeah, gone. Alex is in.
Alex in. S2M Borough-Beck's in. As well as Remy Fernie now in. Dan Davis has chose to stay out. He's got to pit on the end of the lap he's currently on.
He is, yeah. Well, everyone who hasn't pitted will have to pit. Especially with 2 commentators on the timing screen.
Yeah, them 2 commentators, they never seem to pit. I noticed D. Davis didn't pit last night as a spectator, so that's a time penalty there for him and a penalty for me and you tonight at the moment. So it is currently Sully from Alex Powell, your race order. Alex Powell has gone through La Source as Overtaker's now at the final chicane. So, with him 3 seconds behind M. Harris before Harris pitted. Could Mike get the jump on Alex Powell?
So, Jays Kravitz has just said
Alex has stopped.
3-track 1.
Alex is away. Borough-Beck's is now only just going to stop. Here comes Alex coming out the pit lane. Overtakers through. What about Mike Matthews now? Has Mike Matthews done enough? Has Alex done enough to jump Harris? Don't forget, he's pulling point back on Dan and Mike Matthews here at the moment. Here comes Mike up through the top of Radion. He's got the jump on Alex! Mike Matthews' strategy of undercutting Alex has worked an absolute peach. And he has a feel that he's going to put this into the championship and lick the stamp and send it. Remy Fernie's not done his stop. Cloudon's back in the pits for some unknown reason. But Mike Matthews is possibly getting one hand on the title. And PN, look at the weather in 30 minutes.
It's going to rain. But not before the end of this race. Sully's now in.
So this crucial for the race lead. Sully versus Overtaker. With about 2 laps to go. It is Mike, though, who's on the back of M. Harris. It's the closest fight on track.
Yeah. As Mike has pulled a blinder.
The undercut, what a huge undercut that has been for Mike. 2 seconds ahead of Alex Powell, and if Mike can clear that of M. Harris, he's put a car between himself and Alex Powell, but you don't have to worry about the car behind you if you're ahead of them in terms of that championship. It is all about what he's going to score over them. Sully, Dan Davis, both into the pit lane. Remy Fernie's going to have to pit again. I don't think he's going to get to that pit stop, though. Simon Blair also back into the pits.
Nah, not with 30 seconds to go, and he's now gone through Fangya. So
now as well, Pierre, look at that. The sun's now come out to play.
It has, so this might warm things up a little bit just before the end of the race in 3 minutes' time.
In 3 minutes' time, yeah. Overtakers at the final chicane. Sully not yet to stop here. Dan's gone long, Sully's gone long, Sam's gone long, Simon Blair's back in the pits. I'm not sure why. Sully now stops. Overtaker's headed to La Source. Sully in. Down.
Dropped.
Gone. Sam still not at his box. Dan Davis still not at his box. Sully exits the pits now as Overtaker is through La Source. There you see under the, just above the bridge is nowhere near. Sully out the pits. Job done. Sam and Dan Davis still not yet at the box. M. Harris and Mike Matthews are going to get past, as will Alex Powell.
So yeah,
oh, Mike's dropped it! Mike's dropped it at El Rouge! He's in the wall backwards!
Yeah.
And Alex Powell takes that place from him!
Taker's got further faster snap again. He's taking it back off Sully.
Who is that now behind Mike Matthews? I heard another car. And that is Sam who's come out of the pits. Mike Matthews has got to try and survive 1 and a bit laps. Oh, he's dropped it at El Rouge just as he was putting pressure on M. Harris.
Didn't he always have trouble through El Rouge?
He struggled back in the Honda to get it up El Rouge. I don't think he struggles as much in the Ferrari. But yeah, disaster.
His former teammate struggled up El Rouge and Radion as well.
In a 24-hour race, yeah, indeed.
Hello there, Palava. I hope you're watching.
So now, for Alex Powell, he's not got a car between himself and Mike, but what points is he taking out to Dan Davis? That's the big question. Danny's out in 9th position and is 3 seconds from the back of Monkey Boy, who's 4.8 off the back of Borobex. So all you can think for Dan is he's possibly going to get that 8th place in this race. Sully leads from Overtaker, who's got the fastest lap. There will be one more lap in this race, I do believe. But Mike Matthews, if there is another lap, Mike's got to fend off Sam and Borobex, who are both in this race, 1.2 or 1.8 at 1.2, and then about 3 seconds off the back of him.
Nah, no. 30 seconds to go, and Sully's now at the bus stop, so yeah, there's going to be another lap.
Yeah. So Sully exits the bus stop chicane and comes towards the line. There's going to be one more lap to go. It's Overtaker second. Then it is M. Harris, who is coming in under immense pressure now from Alex Powell. And I tell you what, Alex Powell gets past Harris, puts a car between himself and Mike. That's more points he's taking off of Dan.
It is, as can Alex get in front of Harris before the end of his final lap?
Well, Mike was right up the rear end of Harris, wasn't he? And dropped it at Eau Rouge. So dirty air possibly at the factor of Mike's spin.
Possibly, yeah, and because of Ferrari being mid-engined.
We've also got Mike Matthews, who's got Sam crawling all over the back of him. So Mike has got to defend like a warrior for these last couple at this last lap. He's got him right behind him. Dan has got past Andrew Taylor. So that is for 8th and 9th. So Dan moves up to 8th. And I tell you what, Mike's going to have to defend massively. He will not want another spin up Eau Rouge. A lot of curb taken there. And gets ahead, and Alex has got ahead of Harris as we go back to him. So Mike will not want another. He'll want to keep them two cars between himself and Dan Davis.
He would, yeah. And how damaged is Mike's Ferrari? That is the question. It looks pretty scuffed up on...
It does. You look at the corner exit, PN, it looks like Mike is struggling on corner exit. Sam is really gaining. And this is going to be interesting. The Haggis Munchers both in the pit. Smokey didn't get that pit window done.
Nope.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
But Alex now on the podium again. Another podium for Alex.
And when you think that Dan's had a bad race, it then swings to Mike. And then Mike has a moment, and it swings really now towards Alex, who's on the podium and going to score big points over Mike and Dan. You just can't sort of make this kind of stuff up.
No, this is why we love racing.
Yeah.
Because there is no script.
There is no script. There is no filter. It has just been absolute chaos here.
There's a filter on sometimes in the Comsports.
And as we go towards Sully then, who rounds the final chicane, it is going to be yet another sprint win. He can't do it in the feature. Sully takes the race win. Overtaker looks like he's going to take the fastest lap and second place. So a great result for Overtaker there. We go back to Alex Powell, who is currently going to be P3 and will be P3. Harris, who's had a moment at the chicane, but he's managed, is luckily enough, he's come so far ahead that he's going to come home for another 4th place. Good result for him. Has Mike Matthews hung on? Indeed he has. That's going to be P5 for Mike Matthews. 6th for Sam in this one. Great result for Sam. Really good race for him. S2M Borobex will come home 7th place. Dan Davis will take 8th. So a massive 10-point swing in the favour of Mike to Dan. Andrew Taylor is going to be in 9th. So good points for him there in that race. Paolo will come home for 10th. Globe Writer is going to come across the line and take P11. Sky Schundelmeyer, damage limitation there in the end. He's going to take P12. Clouden a lap down, P13. Smokey Devil, P14. Simon Blair, P15. Ramy Fernie, P14. And that is your grid, is your final result from race 1. PN, what a race. And we've got another 45-minute one coming up.
Yeah, but anything can happen. Judging by this race without rain cloud coming in 30 minutes' time.
Indeed,
that's on
it can.
the Saturday in game.
Indeed, it can.
Go to the Sunday.
We do go to the Sunday. We're all just awaiting Sky Schundelmeyer to finish this race and cross the line. Absolutely fantastic absolutely fantastic racing. Ebbing and flowing in this championship battle. And here comes Tibbs across the line. And yeah, we will take a break and be back momentarily. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport here for the pro second race and qualifying. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We've just had a dry to wet practice. It is now a damp qualifier with rain decreasing over half an hour. That's not going to matter too much, but it is now what tyres these drivers are going to be on at the moment. PN, this is going to be an absolute fruity one.
Wets. That's what tyres I'll be on, wets at the moment. But you put fuel in and just do laps, because the track's going to dry off as the session goes on. Tibbs can't, he's on a qualifying ban.
Tibbs is on a qualifying ban. We've lost Ramy Fernie from the session at the moment, so we'll see if he gets back in. In terms of the championship, though, Dan Davis has his lead cut short by 10 points. The gap is 5 points between himself and Mike Matthews. Alex Power is 67 points back, so he's nearly gained 20 points over Dan Davis at the moment. That's down to 67 with 170 still up for grabs. He's really in this championship battle. Overtaker is P4, 114 points behind, can still mathematically win it. Gary Leach is P5, still can win it, but he's not here, so we'll be out of that tonight. It is then Jamal Cloud and Sky Schundelmeyer, Joe, Ramy Fernie, Graham, Paolo, Simon Blair, Sully, S2M Burrobex, Luke, Sam, Siri, De Hoffner, Arnash, Jay Ward, M. Harris, Clarbel, Andrew Taylor moves up a few spots ahead of P. Williams, Darren Yo and Tukowski, Losser, Glowbrighter, Kutius, DeFizz, Dennis Newman, Graham, Borchet, Shaggy, Dan Brave, Tech Leader, Costa, Mr. Marshall and R. Roy. We're only reading out the important ones at the moment because a lot of drivers aren't here. But we can tell you this as well, that SimPlay Racing of Dan Davis and Mike Matthews are Constructors champs. So it's gloves off now, PM.
It is gloves off. Now the civil war between SimPlay Racing can begin with 3 races left.
Yeah, and do you think it is gloves off? I think it's been gloves off the last couple of weeks.
I think it's gloves off. It's race suit off now as well, and fire-resistant underwear. They're wrestling now.
Yeah, indeed they are. BTC Jaeger Racing second. That's pretty much confirmed as well. It's mathematically possible that Haggis Munches can catch him. Then it's Team FBR, Button Basher, Ottinger Stage 2, Greasy Bandit, Red Rum, BDM. 2 Old M's go above JB and Effect Motorsport, and then it's Audi Sport Racing Team at the back. Game on. We're currently on board Dan Davis PN on a damp track as it's drying every lap, but drying slowly because the track temperature is lower, and there's one extra car missing, and Globeriter and Sky Schundelmeyer aren't qualified. Sky can't qualify. Globeriter isn't qualifying.
No, well, I actually qualified last week. Last night, for a change. Well, I qualified every night.
It was a shorter 10-minute qualifying, though, wasn't it? 7-minute qualifying.
Yeah, that's just lost over that.
Who's your tip for pole in this one?
Ooh, I reckon if he can do it, I think Taker might have this.
It just depends on them damp conditions. I'm going to go the way of Sully. I think Sully's the one who's possibly got this in the bag.
It's going to be close, isn't it? It's going to be fascinating to watch.
We're currently on board Dan Davis. We've been on board Dan Davis for a while, and this is going to be interesting. The question is on the damp track, what are them wet tyres going to be doing for the people who are on wets?
Again, that'll be down to Ted Jays in pit lane, who informed us that a driver did have 3 track limit warnings in race 1, and they drive a McLaren with a 2 in the front of the number. The first number.
There we go. Right, Dan Davis will be the first man to get to the start line. And let's see, there is a few drivers who are on invalidated lap time. Sully's on an invalidated lap time, as is M. Harris, as is 36. That is Clouden. Andrew Taylor, Simon Blair, S2M Borough Bex. There's only a handful of drivers on a valid lap. Dan goes currently provisional pole, 2:28.4. Here comes Overtaker next up, PN.
Let's see what Overtaker's got. Oh, it looks a little slippery on the curb.
Finds a second, a second over Dan. That is absolutely rapid at the moment. Here comes Mike Matthews. So what can Mike Matthews do at the moment? Can he pressure his teammate in these wetter conditions? They both struggled in race 1. Can he put his teammate under pressure? He can put his teammate under pressure. 4/10 of a second faster. Here comes Paolo.
Headlights ablaze on his green McLaren. Well, even the night running lights. Paolo, P4.
Paolo goes to P4, he does indeed. And I tell you what, PN, there'll be no bad days here at SimPlay.
Don't make me do a Ric Flair bit. Go, woo, woo. Maybe next week at Carl Army, after the end of the season.
Here comes Sam, out of Pouon, in this middle sector. Overtaker's returned to the pit lane. Is he possibly thinking slicks?
I think it's a bit early for slicks. If it goes to Greasy, yes, but they're going to cool down too much. Because there's not much wind either. Sully's aborted. I just saw him go off at Pouon.
So Sully struggling to get a lap time in at the moment. Here comes Sam, though, who is still on a valid lap time. That is Andrew Taylor starting a valid lap. Here comes Simon Blair and Borough Bex. And at the moment, Dan's also invalidated. Mike's on an invalid lap, so I wonder if has Mike been in the pits? I'm not sure. Sully's in the pits.
Alex is now coming through Pouon.
Here comes Sam. Not on 1.9 off the back of Dan. Next car on a lap is the 111 of Alex Powell.
As he hopes into Fangya, heading towards Stavolo. Or Campbellson and Stavolo. This is being political.
The interesting thing is that rain decreasing, PN, in half an hour. Obviously, 7 minutes time. It's only going to be. This session ends at 12:15. The race, there's then 45 minutes of a break between this and the race. So we're not going to know anything until we get to that race of what the weather could be. It says decreasing there, but it could be even wetter come the race time.
It could be absolutely soaked when we get to the race. Because one thing the Ardennes Mountains is known for, weather.
Yeah, indeed it is. This is going to be fantastic to watch what happens. Alex Powell coming up towards the chicane now. Can he split Dan and Mike? Will he be quicker than both? Will he be slower than both? He rounds the bus stop chicane now. And for his first valid lap time on the board, what will Alex set here as he comes to the line now? And goes provisional pole by half a second. It is Paolo that's next. So this is going to be interesting, Pian, on what is going to happen with these drivers. Paolo to the line. He finds a bit of pace.
He does. He finds about a second.
Now we look to Andrew Taylor. I don't know if that's what he was about to say. Sorry, Pian.
Yeah, it was. I was just leaning in to see this track map because
Sully might want to back off from Andrew Taylor here. He's right behind him at the moment. Well, not right behind him, but could be. As Dan is, he's pulled over. He's gone back to the pits. So is another car with a 6. Now, I believe that's possibly Simon Blake. Let's go, Clouden, says Hypertech in the chat. Here comes Andrew Taylor. Rounds the bus stop chicane. What time is he going to put on the board? On a clearly drying track. Goes 3.4, so he's a bit off the back of Dan. Next car is 68 to Burrabex.
And here's Macca. Let's see how he does.
Let's see how he does, indeed. Here comes Burrabex. Goes within a tenth of Dan Davis, who's struggling to put another lap together. Sam now comes out the bus stop chicane. The next car will be car 34 of M. Harris. He could be a man who upsets the apple cart. Sam goes within 2/10 of Dan Davis now. Dan will not want cars between himself and Mike Matthews.
Or Alex.
Like you say, though, Alex has nothing to lose. He's got everything to gain.
He has. He's going to go for it. And I believe he's still out on track. He is. He's still on a valid lap. He's behind Clouden looking at the track map.
There's a bit of a gap between the two. Overtaker's also on a valid lap, as is Mike Matthews.
You see how Harris comes as he rounds the final corner now for the bus stop.
Here comes Harris. Goes second place by 29 thousandths of a second. Alex Powell can now improve, but it's another call between Mike, Dan, and Harris and Alex. Wow, this is getting interesting.
It's got to be slightly getting drier.
The track is definitely ramping up here. Alex to the line. Doesn't improve that time around. What about Paolo now? Currently 3.6 off the pole. He's 3.1 off of Overtaker. He's 2.5 off of Mike. What does he find this lap as the track
Alex improved.
Goes 7th, so doesn't improve too much. Here comes Mike Matthews. Good evening to Tracy in the chat.
Dan's out on track, Tracy.
Dan's racing. It's Matt in the commentary box.
Your name's Dan.
Overtaker to the line. Goes provisional pole by 0.3 of a second. Next is Mike to the line. So can Mike get ahead of Harris and Alex Powell here? Let's wait and see. Dan now starts a valid lap. Mike improves, but not enough.
Next person is... Oh, it's Taylor, but he's got Sully right up his chuff.
Yeah. Right up his chuff, indeed. Here comes Sully then. And Andrew Taylor in towards the bus stop chicane. Andrew went a little wide. I don't think he invalidated his lap. Here comes Sully and Andrew Taylor. Sully splits Mike and Dan. No improvement for Andrew. Car 34 is the next car. That is M. Harris.
And he's got a bit of pace.
Yeah, he looks quick tonight.
In these changing conditions. Oops, I mean.
We'll let you off, Tracy. We'll let you off. Yeah. Here comes M. Harris then. Can he now possibly put... Yeah, can he now put a car ahead of Alex? He only needs a couple of hundredths here, PN.
He does, yeah.
Overtaker's on an invalid lap. So he's only going to get one in though.
Yeah. Right, Harris rounds poo on. That looked.
Paolo, I think he's done. M. Harris, I believe, is in the pits. Sam is in the pits that he's done. M. Harris to the bus stop chicane. Can he find that little bit more time here? This is going to be crucial. PN at the moment.
It is. He crosses the line and he goes back to
He does. He does. He finds a 10th and a bit. and goes back to P2. Clouden then is next up. He's not done a time. He's looked like he's had a bit of pace tonight. He's got Hypertech cheering him on in the chat. Here comes Jamal Clouden. Can he upset the apple cart as well? He does! He goes quicker than Mike and Dan Davis. Alex goes back to second, nearly on the pole. Oh, it is game on in qualifying here.
Yeah, and he's got time for another lap if he keeps it pinned.
Dan needs no mistakes. He doesn't need to invalidate a lap time. This is going to be crucial for Dan Davis. He comes through Blanchimont, absolutely nails the corner. Here he comes towards the final bus stop chicane. Is Dan Davis going to improve his lap time? He doesn't need a moment at the bus stop. Needs a clean exit here. Can Dan Davis put himself up the front end of the grid? Can he get ahead of Mike? Only needs 1.3. Goes provisional pole!
And now coming to the line should be Mike Matthews.
He goes fourth. It is game on at the front. Alex is done. Alex is done. It is a 10th and a half separating the top three.
Here comes Taker.
Here comes Sully. Taker's on an invalid lap time. Here comes Sully. Can he get in the mix here? Sully to the line. Goes pole! Half a second! It is game on here. What a qualifying, PN! What a qualifying!
Yeah. The track's slightly getting drier, so the times are going to start dropping. With, well, 13 cars out on track, it was. Well, no, 12 actually, because Globerite never did a lap.
The track is getting quicker and quicker and quicker. And it'll be this man Harris to finish qualifying. Alex Pow is done. Clouden is done. Paolo is done. Tibbs, Sky Schundelmeyer and Globewriter had that quali ban.
Globewriter didn't.
Globewriter didn't go out, apologies. I believe Sam is in the pits. Did Harris just invalidate? No, he did not.
He kept it in.
Here comes M. Harris to the line now. Is he going to improve? 8 tenths off the pole. He does. He goes P5 and knocks Mike down a place. Next car, Dan Davis.
Mike behind him, Ben.
Oh, little wiggle Dan there.
Then we've got Taker, Sully, Mutz, Simon Blair.
Qualifying is not done yet. Because Dan could go pole, Mike could go pole. Sully's going to have the best of these conditions. The 3 cars in front of him are going to be clearing that little bit more water for him to do this faster lap.
They will be, yeah. Get the hairdryers out.
Oh, Dan, just within that limits. I think it was in it. Just in it. That was so close to being over the limits there. And here comes Dan Davis. Towards the line. Is he up on his lap time? Let's see. Oh, just misses out from Sully. What about Mike Matthews? What about Mike Matthews? Stays P6. Now we turn to Overtaker. Can Overtaker put himself ahead of Dan Davis? Sully is done. He needs 0.6 of a second. Here comes Taker. No, doesn't improve enough.
And now here comes Blair.
Simon Blair, the only man left in this session. And goes P8. What a qualifying session, PN.
Oh, that was more exciting than the race.
Wow.
Can we have time trials from now on?
Dan Davis, once again, left it late and narrowly, this time narrowly missed out on the pole.
Yep, Sully just has it. But, wow, what an interesting new moves we're going to have. It's going to be things. In the track, what would have been drying. That would have easily been drying.
And look at this, it is still raining, but it is going to change inside 10 minutes.
It is.
So what do you risk here, PM?
Do you risk starting on the slicks?
Do you risk that slower start but a quicker pit stop? What do you risk here? This is going to be absolutely fantastic. But and don't forget, the weather's changed all the time.
It has. I would risk slicks. Because It's 15 minutes, the window opens.
It is 15 minutes, so your tyres could be screaming. They did it at Silverstone, though. Pole position for McLaren there, by the way. It is now 68 poles. It is now tied second with Lamborghini for pole positions. The win for Sully in race 1 gives McLaren 67 race wins. That is now above Lamborghini after last night and tonight's race wins. Mercedes, by the way, thanks to John Gooday, 5 wins away from 100. So, fantastic stuff. Porsche 2 podiums away, thanks to Flem Speed 1 last night. There's no Porsches out there tonight. But as a driver, what do you do? To pit lane reporter Micro J's. Oh, wait, he's not here.
10 seconds.
Oh, sure, I added him properly to the party once. He'll probably say something in chat or on Discord. Links to our Discord are down below. Hopefully the link still works.
If the link doesn't work, let us know. We'll post it in the comments section. MB Pits, what a pole lap time. Amazing. Love that quali, says Micro Ted in the chat.
Oh, what we've had all year.
PN, the rain has stopped! PN, the rain has stopped!
It has stopped.
The rain, it's gone cloudy! It has stopped raining! Oh, we are in for a treat!
Do you remember that one race at Croft and BTCC? Everyone
Yes.
was on slicks, apart from on wets.
Brands Hatch as well. Brands Hatch, Senna
apart from
Proctor, I
England.
think, won the race. Back at Brands Hatch.
Because
It
he
has
started on
stopped
slicks.
raining.
And England did the same. Because it's just literally.
Oh,
slicks.
wow. So
Oh,
it
can't
has
wait for
stopped
BTCC to
raining here. Who is on what tyre? This is the question now.
Oh, what,
I'm awaiting
what,
Micro Ted's message in the Discord.
What do you do? Because it's not going to be damp for long. I think Sully's on slicks.
Go Sky, win for your sister's birthday. Sammy turns 9 today. Well, happy birthday to Sammy.
Oh, interested. The secondary pit lane reporter, P. Williams, has said Sam and Borough Becks are on dries, so it's less sunny will be as well. And Dan Davis is on wets.
So, where's P. Williams put that? Oh, in the chat there, yeah. So Sam and Borough Becks are on the dry tyres. I would guess Sully will be on the dries, but Dan Davis is on wet. So clearly watching Dan Davis' stream. And Dan Davis on the wet tyre here. Oh!
I think Overtaker's on wets. Did Sky miss the start?
Oh, Sky did miss the start. No, he's in the pits. Yeah, no, he took the start. I do believe I saw his car.
Or did he return the pits to put slicks on?
Oh.
And start on pit lane? Overtaker's just pulled over. Yeah, Overtaker's just pulled over on the side of the road.
Yeah, why is Overtaker slow? So where's Overtaker gone?
He is on wet. Did he have to answer a call or something? I know on a controller, it's very, very hard on a controller.
So let's have a look at what's happened. Let us have a look at what is happening here. Micro Ted, Clouden, dries, Globe, wet. Paolo's not sure, he thinks it's dry. Dan's on the wet, Borough Beck's on the dry, Sam on the dry, Mike's on the dry, and Harris is on the dry. Tibbs' stream has gone down. Globe Writer and Overtaker is in the pits.
Yeah.
So are they all on wets?
Are they putting slicks on and sacrificing the track position at the start?
Track's greasy, PN. Track's gone greasy. So we're coming towards the bus stop. The track has gone greasy.
Sky got teleported to pits.
So Globe on the wets and Dan on the wets. Paolo Jay thinks he's on the dries.
Harris has got a flappy bonnet.
Harris has got a flappy bonnet. Oh, he has. Harris has got big damage. And the track's greasy, PN. The track is greasy. So the question is, for Dan Davis and Glowbrighter, they've got to go a minute and 15 minutes nearly to...
Yeah. I wonder if that's what happened to Glowbrighter and Overtaker. They got teleported as well.
Yeah, but why? Or did they stop and return to pits? Harris has stopped. He's going again now, I do believe. I'm not sure what is happening here. Harris with damage, I think, has dropped to the back of the field.
He has, because he probably don't want to be a liability going into turn one. But that car's not turning right. Or left. But he's now back in the grid position. So, who knows? Matt, I don't know. Do you know?
I haven't got a clue. Dan starts alongside Sully on a greasy circuit that is only going to dry every step of the way.
Unless that 10-minute cloud changes to rain again. You can't write this.
And we're green and go here for the round 18 of the season. And look at Sully get a good start over that of Dan Davis. Dan side by side with him. Opel Rouge, but breaks to get out of it and gets out of it well. And now he comes side by side at the top of Radion. The problem for Dan is he comes through the Radion. Look at Alex Powell already on the back of Dan Davis. Sully's already gone to defend. And Dan Davis now is coming under pressure from Alex Powell, who's covering the inside line. Here comes Dan Davis into the comms. And Alex doesn't get the move done just yet. It is great racing from everybody. Clean at the start. Overtaker, Tibbs and Glowbrighter are now away. And Dan Davis is already under pressure from Alex Powell. There you go. Harris's wheel had an issue. Hopefully fixed it now, so that is why Harris probably ended up in the wall.
Yeah, if I just went, I wouldn't know I'm on a controller.
Mike Matthews already got past Harris, and now Jamal Clouden is being pushed by Simon Blair through No Name down towards Pouon. They come for the first time, and we know that Glowbrighter and Dan Davis was both on that slick tyre. Great fight here. Clouden as well. Little laggy is Jamal Clouden there on the back of Harris, who's got damage. And this is the interesting thing here. Mike gaining on the back of Alex Powers. Clouden looks up the inside of Harris, and they both do well not to make contact.
And Harris is fighting a heavily damaged car as well. Of course, MB Pitts is part of...
Clouden looking up the inside. There's Simon Blair going around the outside of Jamal Clouden. This is going to be interesting. And Simon Blair gets a move done on Jamal Clouden. That's a fantastic move from him. Sully already has the gap out front as well. And Dan Davis coming under pressure. Well, he's not coming under pressure. Gap's not really that close at the minute. Andrew Taylor's trying to gain on the back of Paolo with Sam P11 at the moment. So I'm not sure what happened to Sam at the start.
Wet tart. Oh, Dan's gone deep into bus stop.
Oh, he's gone very deep into bus stop. This could allow Alex through. It does. This could allow Mike through then. Is that the wet tyre that's causing him to go deep? Is it already that overheated?
Our pit reporter Michael Jace probably could tell us that they're starting to go nice shade of red.
I tell you what, Dan Davis at the moment has thrown this away, because if he goes to full 50, he's got to change tyres. That's the longer pit stop. If he goes to 15 minutes, will his tyres last the 15 minutes? That's the question.
Right. Pit reporter has reported that Harris is on dries.
Who is?
Harris. He is on dries.
Harris is on dries. Right, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Dan's defending from Mike Matthews, and this is it now. Constructors won. It's gloves off between the pair of them behind. Going to drop back to Simon Player and Jamal Clouden, who's got past Michael Harris. In fact, Harris is tumbling down the order, so where has Harris gone? I wonder if he's had a moment to tell Rouge. Overtaker still in 12th. Glowbright is in the pits. So what is Sky and Overtaker on? That's the biggest question. But Dan, trying to hang on in there. He's got to hold this pack as long as he possibly can.
He has. He's got to wait. He'll lose too much time pitting now, but he's got to change tyres. So, and everyone else will probably be doing drop and stops unless it rains. Again.
Yeah, exactly. So if Dan pits early, he's got to pit twice. This is where he's got to find out what's going to happen. Glowbrighter straight in, not messing around. He's going for that double pit stop. I tell you what, if you... Well, yeah.
Even if it does rain, them wets are going to be past it.
Oh, within the next 30 minutes, it's dry. So unless the weather does a madness and changes again, this is going the way of Alex gaining more points on Dan and Mike. The bonus for Mike is, oh, Dan, very slidey on towards the back straight. And also, PM, track limits are going to be more harsher now.
They will, because it's classed as a dry circuit. Even though it's greasy, but we're going to say at that point. Roadwright has still not moved.
Oh, Dan is sliding through Blanchimont there in towards the bus stop chicane. Well, he might not move because, you know, he started from the pit lane, so he was already way down. And is now having to change tyres. Dan gets a horrible run through the bus stop. Mike goes side by side with Dan Davis. It is gloves off at SimPlay Racing. Down towards turn 1. Mike's already got Dan done. Is Dan going to try and fight this on the brakes? No, he's not. Looks up the inside of Mike as Mike went a little deep, but cannot get the traction. Now Jamal Cloudens here, back down to Burra Becks, who's having his own little scrap with Simon Blair. An overtaker, by the way. Overtaker's nearly at the source, so not massively off the pack.
No, I believe Taker did return the pits to put slicks on. But he's got a little bit of damage on the bit of right hand.
Yeah,
right hand corner.
I've noticed that. Oh, Globewriter's slow coming out the pits. That might be him getting his dries up to temperature. P. Williams in the chat. Dan's wets are already hitting 35 psi, and Alex has took fastest lap and is closing on Sully as Burra Becks looks up at the com. No moves there. What about Sam on M. Harris? That looks a little too far back. What about Clouden on Dan Davis? Well, as we go to Dan Davis, Clouden's through.
Yeah, them wets, they're dead. They're going to be dead. I don't think this game simulates wearing them basically into slicks.
Well, baby, yeah. And this is the thing is, they're going to be that hot by the time they get to slicks. They're going to pop. Dan's now down to 5th place. Yeah.
So it's battle between Sully and Alex. They're probably going to start trading fastest lap.
Well, I'm just watching Sam at the minute gain on the back of M. Harris. M. Harris with that big damage, but M. Harris actually gaining on Paolo.
He is. And look in the background. Overtaker.
Yeah.
Just coming through Pool on.
Now, the question is, what tyres is Overtaker on?
I believe he's on slicks. Judging by how that car's not sliding.
I've just received a picture. Dan's wets are struggling. Harris's dries are well under pressure. They are stone cold, but getting warmer. Yeah, this is interesting.
Here is. Ooh, Alex has took another.
Yeah, took another couple of tenths. Paolo has been passed by M. Harris, and now he's getting passed by. Is Paolo on the wets? Because he's just dropped behind M. Harris, and M. Harris has got huge damage.
I think he is, because I can't see any sign writing on the wheels, and he's PlayStation, so I would be able to see that. Because if I go to, say, Alex, I can see it. You know, the yellow sign writing that Pirelli had.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bubble through the rouge and ready on by Alex. He kept that pin, so that'll probably be a straight cut.
Glowbright is now going to unlap himself from Paolo, it looks like here. So I think Paolo may also be on the wet tyre, trying to fight this out. Overtaker's now in the background. What is Overtaker on, though? Did his return to garage allow him to put the slick tyre on?
Yes, because it does look like he is indeed on slicks.
It does indeed, yeah.
To get out of the way.
And Tibbs looks like he's on the slicks, yeah. Alex within 0.8 of a second.
Look how much quicker he is than Paolo. Look at the difference.
Alex within 0.8 of a second here of the race lead. Overtaker's got past Paolo on my timing screens.
He has, I just watched it, and Paolo's got no pace. He can't put his power down, or... Well, Overtaker's absolutely flying.
So he's now... It's how many past Dan before that pit window opens in 6.5 minutes?
So about 3 laps, roughly? 3 laps? Yeah, that's 2 minute lap, 2 minute 25, just to say. That's what they're doing at the moment in these greasy conditions. Maybe a little bit quicker than that.
Paolo is on wets, so that is why Paolo is struggling. So the bonus for Dan is Paolo's also on wets. The problem for Dan is even though Glowbrighter's a lap down, is he catching him?
Yeah, because you're going to lose so much time changing tyres. But you've got to hang on and see. That was wide by Alex.
It was wide by Alex. Gap's open back up. Now Jamal Cloudens within a second of Mike Matthews. Dan's now under pressure from Andrew Taylor. He's been passed by Borough Becks, and Andrew Taylor, who I believe is on the dries as well. He could swoop around Dan here. Dan's going to tumble down to 7th. He's got to be careful with them track limits out there as Dan. He doesn't want to get any warnings. And now Andrew Taylor. The thing is, PN, the track's gone green, so it's not even greasy anymore. The thing is, at this stage of the race, does Dan and Paolo commit to the wet tyre?
They've got 5 minutes to go, but the worst thing that happened is they go pop. Dan defending by from Taylor into the source.
Gap's back down to 0.6 of a second between the leaders up through El Rouge and Radion.
Cloudon fastest lap.
Cloudon fastest lap over Mike Matthews, so the slick's now started to work as the dry tyres come in. Then it's Borough Becks, then it's Dan Davis still fending off Andrew Taylor, but look at Dan halfway through up El Rouge. He's just not got the grip with them tyres so hot.
Them tyres are pretty like driving on lava. And Blair Harris Overtaker's already with Sam.
Overtaker's flying, and if Overtaker's on the slips, he's possibly just pulled a good strategy. Dan didn't make the comp. Has to come.
No.
Monkey Boy can't get past Dan. In a way, this benefits Dan because even though he's going to have that longer stop, they're not going to pull the gap on Dan before the pit window.
No, they're not.
Gap behind. Simon Blair has got M. Harris crawling on the back of him. No, he's not. He's got M. Harris up the inside of him. And now Sam looks to come to play. No, he doesn't. Overtaker's looking on Sam. They're all looking on everybody. It's absolute chaos down the midfield. Overtaker gets a run on Sam as Sam got a horrible exit. Sam lets Overtaker go. Overtaker clearly the quicker car. And now moves up the order a little bit.
Overtaker now on the back of Blair as he heads towards Bangor.
Overtaker's just got such confidence at the moment.
Yeah, as I said, he's definitely on slicks.
Now look at the train. Now look at who's the cork in the bottle.
It's a truly train, and it's Dan Davis at the front of it.
Someone spun at the com, says Jamie Brazier in the chat. Well, I'm not sure who that is. Nobody's too far back. May have been Paolo, possibly. Tibbs has got ahead of Paolo. And Monkey Boy's got Dan Davis done, and here comes Overtaker, trying to pass Dan, while Dan's side by side with Harris. Now they're going to try and go 3 wide towards Blanchimont. Overtaker up the inside of Dan Davis. Harris around the outside of Overtaker. Dan has gone so wide he's not got the grip. Comes back on the circuit. He's still going to have that inside line over Undertaker into the bus stop. Mike had the spin at the com. All right, there we go then. Well, he's still third. And Dan Davis is round!
Oh, we've lost the driver. We're down to 13.
We are down to 13. We've lost Sully. We've lost Sully. Sully's just disconnected, so Alex leads from Cloudon in second. Mike is now third, so as they've gone through the timing screen, he's got big damage to the front. It's less points that Danny's going to lose. But all of a sudden, with Sully's disconnection, he can get back in. That's the main thing, is he can get back in.
He can get back in, and
we're not going to have a mass disconnection and have to restart, are we?
Walk through, make it 20 minutes sprint.
Dan is in the pits, PN. Dan has decided to come in, so that spin has clearly burnt out his tyres.
Yeah, they're probably now nearly punctured. Oh.
So Alex Powell in, Sully's back in, but Dan is ahead of him. So that is crucial for Dan Davis. Even though he's made this pit stop, he's ahead of Sully. Sully's going to have a 2-minute wait.
Sully just has no luck in feature races.
No, he has no luck in feature races at all. Well, let's not forget we had a big Xbox problem last night.
But that was like it running out of memory, what that bloke was saying.
I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure.
Right, so Mike was the one who's had the spin. Back towards Andrew Taylor. Overtaker's got ahead of him. Sam is now gaining on the back of M. Harris once again. Well, wow, what a race this is.
Oh, yeah. Now, Alex has a 6-second lead in front of Clouden, but Clouden possibly quicker at the moment. Going to be another win for Greasy Bandits, because they took one in race 1 last night, didn't they?
Glowbrighter is coming towards Dan, so Alex has lapped him, but Glowbrighter, who's had them laps on the slicks, is now coming towards Dan Davis. Well, this championship ebbs and flows and swings backwards and forwards every single week.
It does. This is just not what Dan needed at all.
It isn't what Dan needed. He's got a drive through. Oh no! Dan Davis has got a drive through penalty. His only bonus is Glowbrighter. I don't think got past him. Sorry. No, Glowbrighter didn't get past him, but now Dan has a drive-through on the longest pit lane, and he's got to come in for his pit stop.
Oh, you can't write this stuff, chat. You can't write it. If you like what you're seeing,
yeah, if you do like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up button, the bell to be notified when we are live, and then join us for the finale at Kyle Army next week. Alex Powell leading this race. Wow, this will bring him in to the you know, the equation.
Long way to go, and the pace overtaker's got, who's now just set fastest lap. I'm not counting overtaker out.
He's not. Oh, it has gone purple now. Yeah, apologies.
Yeah,
right.
He's just on purple.
Sam's got Sky Schundelmeyer on the back of him. He's trying to gain on the back of M. Harris as well. We've got Ramy Fernie back in as well, so.
Yeah, so back to 15 cars. Maybe he had internet issues.
Yeah, maybe he did have internet issues. So, I mean, if he gets to the end of the race, that'll be him with points at least. Mike's got Borobex within a second.
Because I don't believe he said anything in Discord.
No, I've not seen anything. But, yeah, honestly, at the moment, this is fantastic racing from everybody. Harris is now going to... Harris is, sorry, not coming under pressure from Sam. Sorry, I was just trying to work out who that was behind, but it's Glowbrighter a lap down behind them. Sully's out the pits. Sully is a lap down to Dan. So that is the only thing Dan can have in his favour.
Yeah. As Blair's the first person to pit.
Cloudon's in. Dan carries on his way. Borobex gaining on the back of Mike Matthews, so Mike's damage, whatever it may be, is causing him some problems, but looking on the back of M. Harris. Sky Schundelmeyer's going around the outside. Harris has missed the chicane, so they both gain a place.
Oh, they collide!
Who?
Harris and Glowbrighter. I believe it was Glowbrighter.
Yeah, he was off. But Sky Schundelmeyer still can't get past Sam at the moment. Keep your eyes on Borobex and Mike Matthews. That gap's coming down. Harris is in the pits.
As the McLaren powers through Radion, it's close to the back of
Cloudon's in the pits.
There's Overtaker already in shot.
P5 gaining on the back of Mike, taking more points away from Mike over Alex. I'm surprised Mike hasn't came straight in. Borobex is right on the back of him. So if Mike is struggling, why didn't Mike come in? The undercut worked for him in race 1. Why hasn't he pitted this time in race 2?
No. Who knows? We're not the ones driving the cars.
No, we're not. We're not. Oh, sounds like someone's had a moment just in front of Mike. I believe that's Simon Blair, who's done his pit stop and came out. He could be one to watch now.
Yeah, he could. As Ramy Fernie has joined the track. He is out on track.
Yeah, he's 4 laps down on Sully, 6 laps down on the leaders. But hey, so he'll score points for 15th place.
He will. Just pit and keep going. But at least he's here. Cloudon's done his stop.
Yeah, Cloudon's in and out. Cloudon should get ahead of Mike. This is all going to be about who pits first. Overtaker's gaining on the back of Borobex. Mike pulled away a little bit, had a wiggle coming on towards the back straight. But open that gap up. Harris and Paolo in the pits. So Paolo managed to drag them wets through. Dan Davis, bearing in mind it's a 2 minute 18, 16 in the dry, whatever they're doing. And then so he's got, he's got to get him for his drive-through, do a lap, get him for his pit stop in 11 minutes.
Yes, yeah. Oh.
Right, Alex Powell stays out on track. Danny's in for his drive-through. Mike comes in. Burabek stays out. Taker stays out. Oh,
Taker going long this time.
What an absolute fantastic race this has been. Overtaker's currently on the podium. This could put him driver of the day. What a race. Andrew Taylor's in. Sam stays out. Sky Schundelmeyer in.
Return to pits to put slicks on. It's paid off because I had that gut feeling he was on wets at that start.
Smokey straight in for his stop. What about Sully? No, Sully's going to carry on his way.
Sully could get down. Possibly. Alex coming through, no name.
Has Dan yet done these drive-through? Is he near the pit exit? No.
No.
And Sully didn't pit. So Sully now goes on to the same lap as Dan. So the bonus for Dan is that he is pretty much, Sully's halfway down the Kemmel Straight. Dan's out of his drive-through. So at the minute, Dan's still pretty much majority of a lap in front, both having to pit. So Dan should theoretically stay ahead of Sully.
Mike is away.
Yeah, and where's Clouden? Clouden has jumped him an absolute peach. So it is all about Burabek and Overtaker at the moment. Sky Schundelmeyer is away. He's jumped Andrew Taylor. Andrew Taylor is now away.
Harris has a straight car now.
Yeah, so what's he going to do? Simon Blair's on the back of Paolo. Paolo had a long stop. That gap's within 6/10. So Simon Blair doing well at the moment.
Pulling away from Burabek. It's now up to 24 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's that Burabek versus Overtaker fight. Alex is now in. Has Burabek had a moment? Because he's now behind Overtaker. No, he's not. He's still ahead of Overtaker. Apologies.
He's still in front.
Yeah, so will one of these two pit? Because now, if Mike repaired that damage, he was clearly slow. Burabek stays out. Taker stays out.
They're doing one more lap. Well, we've got enough time for a couple, actually. Is there 8 minutes of the window left? Is it 8? Yeah.
Track's still green, so it's rubbering in every lap, but it's still not gone too fast yet. And we know Overtaker doesn't like to come out in practice when the track's fast. He comes out when it's optimum. So he still looks quick, though. He still looks quick. Paolo's been passed by Simon Blair. Overtaker now on the back of Burabek. Taker is flying out there. They've got the Paolo-Simon Blair battle happening in front. Sully's now done the fastest lap of the race.
Sully is flying as well.
Sam's in. So where's Clouden in relation to Sam? Sam's just gone through the source. Here comes Clouden.
Alex's stop is
Mike Mathews. I don't think Mike Mathews has repaired his damage.
Not over yet.
Possibly not. But Alex has done his stop. He's now exiting the pit lane up the top at Radion.
Mike Mathews will get ahead of Sam, but I don't think Matt's repaired his damage here.
He's in front of Dan, who's yet to do his actual mandatory pit stop.
Overtaker gets past Burabek, so them two stay out. Dan, Sully, Overtaker and Burabek's yet to pit with 7 minutes left on the clock. Overtaker now, I'd say he's in clear air. He's got 2 lap cars coming up to him.
Do you pit before you get to them lap cars?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Because one of them lap cars, it's Paolo and Simon Blair. So I'll just lean forward with you.
And they're having a little, or was having a little scrap. So Taker leads from Burabek, then it's Alex Powell, who's coming down towards Blanchimont. He's got Dan Davis behind him. Dan's going to be on a mission to unlap himself, even though he's got to pit. Then it's Clouden, Mike Mathews, who I don't think repaired damage. 10 seconds clear of Sky. He looks to have a bit of damage on his right-hand side of his car. Sam, then Andrew Taylor, then Michael Harris.
Taker stays out.
And it's Simon Blair, Paolo, Dan Davis, Globrighter, Sully, Ramey Fernie. So Burrabeck's in. Where's Clouden? He's just come through Blanchimont. He's now at the chicane. This is going to be interesting to see where Burrabeck's...
No, he's at Stavolo.
Sorry.
He's at...
yeah.
That's Stavolo.
It'd come through Pouan, I was meant to say.
Yeah.
He's now heading towards Blanchimont. That better?
That's better.
Ah, thank you. Burrabeck's is coming up to La Source. Tell you what, Burrabeck's might have the jump on Mike here, who's heading towards Blanchimont. So this could be close between Burrabeck's and Mike, and if Mike didn't repair his damage, this could be interesting to see.
It could be, yeah. And of course, next week we go to Kyle Army.
We do go to Kyle Army for the finale of the season. Rounds 19 and 20. Dan Davis will bring you the action there for Pro-Am on Wednesday evening. Myself and PNMotorsport will be back in the box on Thursday evening for all the pro action. So Burrabeck's not yet in his box. Alex has already gone through. Here comes Cloud, and where's Mike? So Mike is coming towards La Source now. Burrabeck's is stationary now as Clouden goes through. Mike is through La Source. Burrabeck's. It's a bit of a longer stop, this, for Burrabeck's. He's now away. Here comes Mike towards El Rouge and Radion. Burrabeck's off the limiter. This could be close, you know.
Because you think
I think Mike's going to carry the speed. It's also a bit tighter. So Mike Matthews gets ahead. Sky Shundlemai not close enough yet. So Mike back up to a net. I'm going to say a net fourth, because I think Overtaker's possibly going to have the jump here.
Yeah, I think Overtaker's definitely got the jump on them two. Close to Clouded, I reckon. It'd be close between Overtaker and
I don't know. It
Clouded,
depends when Overtaker pits. Overtaker can afford to do one more lap.
Yeah,
so one more lap.
got...
Yeah, but Simon Blair, if he gets close enough, should just move straight out his way. If that is the case, you know, through he goes. Sully and Dan Davis also have one more lap before they need to pit.
Taker's in.
As Taker now comes in, so he's pulled the trigger. Where is Dan Davis for his pit stop? He's coming in towards Stavolo. And Sully, he's coming through Blanchimont at the moment. What a juicy night's worth of racing.
It is. As Tracy said, hit the like if you like what you see here.
Oh, what a fantastic night. Cloud and 8 seconds off the back of Alex Powell. Here comes Sully. Sully stays out. So him and Dan have got to pit. I mean, Dan is now at Blanchimont. And look at this. This is a shame for Dan, because... Oh, big moment! Big moment for Dan Davis!
Yeah. Oh.
He's had a huge spin through Blanchimont. Sully's not yet pitted, and Sully's only coming up towards El Rouge and Radion, so Dan is still in front. And Dan now comes into the box. It has, when it rains, it pours. The problem for Dan is it hasn't rained or poured. It's been mixtured.
That's to clear, mainly to clear the grass out of the radiator intake.
So Overtaker,
world, that'd be full.
Overtaker is yet to stop. Alex goes through. Here comes Clouden. Clouden is going to get the jump. I don't think Mike is. Overtaker's in and away. Mike will not jump Overtaker.
No, because Mike's just come out of La Source.
Yeah, indeed.
And take it.
So Mike now in net 4th place. This massively helps Alex Power in the championship. Massively.
It does, yeah. It's got to be so juicy, that final
I tell you what, Dan's not in his pit box yet, and Globrighter is coming for him.
Yep. Oh, this is...
Dan could be behind Globrighter.
We may have had only 15 cars out tonight, but the racing's been fantastic.
So Globrighter is going to get Dan Davis. Dan Davis is still not yet stationary in his box. He stops now as Globrighter is coming past. Now Dan's away. Sully needs to pit at the end of this lap, but for the championship leader it has all gone horribly wrong. For Alex Pow, he's 8 seconds clear of Clouden. Overtaker's 11.5 behind Clouden with 16 minutes left. Sully has got to pit this lap. There's not really any battles to talk about. Nobody's really close enough. It's going to be watch out for Overtaker gaining on Clouden. Oh, this is fantastic, PM. This has been a great night. Sully's in.
Sully is in. Oh, I hope he got that stopped in time.
Overtaker 10 seconds behind. Oh, that could be a track limit warning for Overtaker there. That was a little wide. Mike Mathew still fending off Borough Bex, who's got himself ahead of Tibbs, although he's just dropped a wheel through Stavelo. And now Tibbs can come for him.
Didn't Hitman win in the Aston here as well? In first season? After penalties, 1 foot. I can't remember. Long time ago. On the PS4.
MB Pitts. Bex has some wheel issues now. That will close the gap behind. So Borough Bex is running into some wheel issues. So Sky Schundelmeyer should get through.
It's not the Xbox equivalent of the T150, is it? Because that thing was notorious overheating.
Window is now closed.
I don't know what it's called on the Xbox, to be honest.
So Borough Bex now being hunted down by Sky Schundelmeyer. Said a few of the PSNs tonight.
Yeah.
Clouden's now 9 seconds to Alex Pow. Sully still with the fastest lap. He is still in the pit lane. And gets released now. So where's Dan Davis? Dan Davis is at the bus stop. So for Dan, he's
a lap.
Pretty much a lap ahead. So Dan should realistically be P12. He can only catch Glowbrighter, who's coming up 12 Rouge now. But this is the only fight on track at the moment. So Dan's got to go hammer and tong to get P12.
Yep. Alex has now pulled out to 9 seconds in a lead. Overtaker's gained a second on Clouden.
Yeah, flying. Absolutely flying.
So, let me have a look at timetables just to see.
I wonder if Borough Betz's wheel issues are now sorted because he's coming through and looks to be stable.
Yeah, Overtaker and Alex are lapping a similar...
The track's changed to fast now, PM, though.
Yeah, so it's definitely getting dry. If you're on wet snow, you're doomed.
I don't think anybody's going to be on that wet snow. I don't think anybody's been on wet since Paolo pitted after Dan. But Sky Schundelmeyer having a great little battle here with S2M Borough Bex. 2 McLarens going absolutely at it. Working again now, but that will be a good battle for 5th, says MB Pitt. So yeah, it's going to be a huge battle for Borough Bex here to keep Sky Schundelmeyer behind him.
10 seconds now the lead for Alex.
Yeah, and what's the gap? What's the gap Clouden to Overtaker? That's the problem. 8.7, and we've got about what 5 laps left to go, 6 laps left to go.
Roughly that. And we've gone up the temperature on track. It's now 21.
Yeah, you know, cloud cover. Imagine a downpour now.
Oh, that'd be...
Just imagine that for a second.
It'd be fantastic for us, but not for them.
A downpour and Orthodubs commits to the slicks till the end. Everybody boxes for wets and Dan wins the race somehow. Just imagine that for a moment.
Stranger things have happened in real life.
Dan's a lap down. I don't think he'll win the race from here, even if it does rain. But it's it's been a good one. Mike Mathew still P4. He's 8 seconds ahead of this fight. Borough Bex a little loose mid-corner of El Rouge. Manages to keep it together, well held. But I feel that Tibbs is going to get the run. Tibbs goes to the outside now as they come down towards the Camel Straight, towards Lecombe. Sky Schundelmeyer on the outside of S2M Borough Bex. Will he have that run in towards Lecombe? Inside line for the second part of it. Great little fight between the two of them. Respect given. Does Borough Bex keep the nose there for the next part? No. Sky Schundelmeyer through. That is fantastic. Great fight.
Good drive by Sky, actually. To be at the back because of a qualifying ban. So being 5th so far. Cracking little drive. Probably that teleport back to the pits helped him because he was able to put the slicks on.
So even though his wheel's working, it's not stopped him from getting caught. Overtaker 8.2 at the last time they went through a sector timing beam. Where are they? He's coming towards... He's through Stavro. 7 seconds. Overtaker is flying at the minute.
He is, and Cloudon's pushing as hard as he can, taking really close to track limits. But it will be track limits there. He's wrong side of the curb. Through
So your running order with coming into the final 10 minutes is Alex Pow is way out front from Jamal Cloudon, who's having a great race, by the way. Overtaker's P3. Then it is Mike Matthews, who's 8.4 ahead of Sky Schundelmeyer. That's going to be tough for Mike to keep to the end. Then it's Borough Bex, Sam, Andrew Taylor. Great solid night of points for him. M. Harris 20 seconds behind. Then it's Simon Blair, Paolo, Glowbrighter, Dan Davis, who's 10 seconds off the back of Glowbrighter, Sully, Ramey Fernie. This is huge. This is huge.
It is huge. What was it, Alex? What, 55 for the win? Even with 15 cars? Isn't it about that?
Something like that. Yeah, 55 points for the win, yeah. And so, actually, yeah, it's a good point. So, 60 some odd points behind. Alex will score 55, but that's 60 some odd behind Dan. So the gap to Mike is 62. Alex will score 55. Mike will score 41. So that'll pull the gap back down 14. So that'll then put the gap from 62 down to
40 something.
57. 58. I do believe. To Dan, though, who he's 67 behind, Dan's going to score 18 points. Well, that's 30-odd points he's going to pull back.
That's as it stands now.
Interesting.
The race finished now. Overtaken now 6.3 behind Cloudon. He is coming. Sky's within 8.6 of Mike. I've lost my train of thought as well.
Well, yeah. Ramey 36 laps down, he didn't get in. Come on, Sky, you've got this, says Tracy in the chat. 8.6 it was to Mike Matthews. If he was to catch Mike and take points away from Mike Matthews, well, that does Alex a massive world of good. Gap is 8 seconds. He's got to go a second a minute. Simple as that.
Yeah. Alex now has 11-second lead over Cloudon.
Yeah. Mike is Overtaker is 5.4 ahead of Cloudon. Behind Cloudon, sorry.
I'll tell you what, solid night by Taylor. Couldn't do the full season, but I think he'd take the 2 top 10 finishers, don't you?
Who? Cloudon? Monkey? Andrew Taylor?
Taylor.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Monkey boy.
I agree.
I'd take that. But no, Blair's coming through Fania, and Taylor's coming through Broshamon, so there's quite a bit of a gap. But he has got Smokey right behind him, and Smokey is flying. I mean, Fernie. I did it again. Use PSN names instead of
Dan seconds 5.1 to Glowbrighter. Overtaker 4.9 to Cloudon. Tibbs 7.7 to Mike Matthews.
Taylor might as well let Smokey through because Smokey's just
well, he's 12 seconds behind Sam and he's a lap ahead of Simon Blair. So, yeah,
just let him through.
In fact, where is Simon Blair? He's just coming into the bus stop, so he's actually not a lap ahead of Simon Blair, but he's well ahead of Simon Blair. Yeah. Overtaker 4.9 behind now. Mike actually pulled 2 seconds over Tibbs. So Tibbs, who had to go a second a minute, isn't.
Now has to do.
Oh, I tell you what. Alex Powell, outside shot for the title at Kyle Army. Paolo's 3.4 off the back of Harris. Harris 7.6 off the back of Simon. Dan's now within 4 seconds of Glowbrighter. So that's the closest battle. So let's go to Glowbrighter. Oh, Glowbrighter's got damage. Glowbrighter's got some hefty damage.
Oh, yeah. Vibrating bonnet there.
So that should be pretty easy for Dan to catch and get past. Paolo as well, 3.4. We'll keep our eyes on Paolo to Harris. And we'll, of course, keep our eyes Clouden to Overtaker. 6 minutes left. There's about 3 laps left here. Where's Alex? He's just started one. So at 2:20, yeah, there's probably this lap and 2 more left for Alex Powell. So Clouden's got to keep 4.4 seconds. Now imagine them two come together and might get second.
It could happen.
There's Dan Davis in the back of Globewriter we see now. Paolo still 3.5 to Harris. Harris catching Simon Blair. So there's gaps at the end of this race starting to come down now. Sky Schundelmeyer's gone back up to 8 seconds. So I don't think Mike's got to worry about Sky tonight. Unless a mistake happens.
No, possibly not.
With AC Globewriter coming through. Big damage to his car. Dan Davis 3.4. There he is.
Have to also be train of thought again. Blair's caught 2 seconds on Taylor.
Yeah, but 29 seconds with 5 minutes left is big. It's huge.
That's how, well, most circuits would be nearly half a lap, but this is Spa, it's 4 miles long. Lap to release come down by about 10.
Yeah, Sky's also lost 4 tenths of a second to Mike, and Harris has gained 4 tenths of a second over Simon Blair. Dan's now within 2.6 of Globewriter. Smoky Devil drive through for track limits. That's not going to affect anybody. He's not in this race.
No, no, I think it's more like I don't care now. But at least he came back and did race 2.
Yeah, that is fair play to him.
So maybe it was
Paolo now. Harris has lost nearly a second to Simon Blair. Paolo's gained a bit of time on him. Overtaker's lost a couple of tenths to Clouden. Globewriter's off. He's had a moment just after the comms. Dan's now right on the back of him. Globewriter struggling with that damage.
And now he's bouncing.
Yeah, now he's got an orthodubs on the back of him. Struggling through No Name, very slow. Dan sliding through No Name, pushing so hard. It will always be No Name.
Or Speaker's Corner, because that's the only word corner the comms box can actually see. When they did this version of Spa.
4.7 taker to Clouden. Tibbs has gone back down to 7.6 to Mike. Harris has re-caught Simon, but Paolo's dropped off a bit. So a few battles developing. Where is Alex? So yeah, there'll be 1 more lap after this. Dan still can't get past Harris at Globewriter at the moment.
No, and Dan is really pushing as well. You can tell by the body language of the car.
Dan looking at Blanchimont. Probably not the place. Has a look up the inside. Globewriter runs very wide. Dan's going to keep it there. Oh, Globewriter bounced off the curb. Oh, and I thought he was going to clip the side of Dan Davis there, but Dan goes through up into 12th place. So, look, that's points for Dan. It's not many, but it's a couple.
Don't forget.
Overtaker's
really
within 4.1 seconds now of Clouden.
He is, yeah.
Tibbs has lost out to Mike once again, and Harris within 6.1 of Simon Blair. And Harris and Simon Blair pretty much got 2 full laps to go. Jamal Clouden, though, what a job he's done for this second place. What a drive.
Yeah, what a drive indeed. But he's just got to hold on for another lap from the time Alex crosses the line. Because Alex is now coming up to Brochamont now, so just hold on for 1 more lap in front of Overtaker.
Yeah.
And we know how quick Taker is.
Yeah. 3.2 the gap. Overtaker with 1 lap to go. We'll be wanting this. Harris is within 6 seconds, but like we said, Harris has pretty much got 2 laps to go. Aston Martin and Alex Powell start the final lap of this race.
Clouden second for McLaren. Oh, yeah, it's a British podium for manufacturers.
Yeah. McLaren's been strong at Spa, though. McLaren has been strong at Spa.
McLaren's strong everywhere.
2.6 seconds, the gap at Peony. Overtaker is catching him.
Woo!
Do you think Dan's had a bad day here at SimPlay today?
Yeah, I think he's had a bad day. Bad night. Oh, that's wide by Harris through no name.
What's that? That's 5.3. They're at no name. Alex he's not going to catch them, I don't think. 5.3 is that gap. Has it come down at the next sector timing being that so we're waiting for Simon Blair to go through 2 seconds Clouden to Overtaker. Can Overtaker do this? This will be one heck of a drive if he did. He returned to the pits on the formation lap, put the wet tyre on, the dry tyre on, and got to the end 2 seconds. Harris is back up to 6.2. Smokey will have to do his drive-through. In fact, he won't do his drive-through because Alex will cross the line before he gets there. But it's 15th place for Smokey. He's just finishing the race at the end of the day. That gap's still 2 seconds.
As Alex comes through...
Mike's been caught again by Tibbs, but I think it's too little too late for Tibbs.
Alex is now in Stavolo. Not the village for corner, because the village is just down the road.
That gap between Taker and Clouden is coming down and down and down.
Someone's off at...
That's 99, that is Monkey Boy.
Yeah. I believe Dan's gone off up there as well.
Yeah, I believe he has.
His dot's gone yellow.
And that is that Globewriter going to try and get back past Dan here then. But it's going to be Alex Power who comes to the line. He's going to take a race win. It's another race win this season for him. It will be his 3rd race win. Great race for Alex Power. Clouden is going to hang on in there for 2nd place. And I'll tell you what, Overtaker might keep himself in this championship battle. Overtaker 3rd. Mike Matthews is going to come home for P4. Tibbs got down to 6.3, so maybe Mike at the end there has just decided to bring it home.
Oh, perhaps, yeah.
Because, yeah, no, rather bring it home than make a mistake. Sky Schundelmeyer then is going to come across for P5. Mike, there will be P4. So a great drive from Mike Matthews. Sky Schundelmeyer, P5.
That's
what a night for him.
Back.
Yeah, great drive from the back.
Well, pit lane, actually.
Borough Beck's P6. Sam will be P7. Not sure who that is in the background. That was Sully across the line. So Sully gets 14th and the fastest lap of the race. Sam's coming across for P7. And then it will be Andrew Taylor. And Globewriter did not get past Dan Davis. So Dan should hang in there for P12. Not the night for Dan Davis. Globewriter will be P13 when they get there, with Sully already finishing and others a lap ahead. We've just lost a driver, which doesn't really help the end. Oh, Alex, right. So it's everybody a position down, basically. So Andrew Taylor will be P8, not P7, which then means Harris is going to come across for P9.
Be with you in a minute, Taylor.
Paolo will be P10.
Not P11.
Yeah, P11.
P11.
He will be, sorry. So Harris, P10. Simon Blair will be P9. And then Dan Davis will be P12, as we've already put on. And Paolo P11. So that then is the end of an enthralling night's worth of racing. Just to confirm now, Gary Leach cannot win that championship. Overtaker mathematically still can. Needs a miracle. Here's some. Let's just change the championship standings so they are correct. Yeah, Mike Matthews 17 points now ahead of Dan Davis. Alex Pow is 48 points behind. Overtaker 105 points behind. Can mathematically win it. It's going to need a miracle for Overtaker to do it there. Gary drops to 5th. Clouden P6. Then it's Sky Shundelmeyer, Remy Fernie. The order's still the same. SimPlay Racing, obviously, Constructors Champions. But it is that 17-point gap. Alex Pow, PN, 48 points in it. So he is well in this championship fight.
Yep, and we do move to Kyle Army.
We do move to Kyle Army in a week's time. We're in his championship battle on. And we can first of all speak with Overtaker, who got a P3 and I believe won race 1. No, second place in race 1. Second place in race 1. Overtaker, fantastic little race for yourself. Just talk us through though that early strategy.
Yeah, regarding that, I immediately knew. I think the forecast was misleading because it said rain for the first 10 minutes, and when we get on track it changed to damp. I mean greasy from damp, and I knew that if I'm gonna stay on the wet tires I'm gonna have to pit in a couple of laps and then lose another 20 seconds in the pit stop. So I tried something new, something funny, but I didn't know that I could not get returned to the garage in the formation lap, so I have to wait for everyone and 40 seconds more. Me and I think one other McLaren chose the same strategy, and it paid off. So
yeah, paid off yourself indeed. Just a lap longer, maybe you'd have been on the rear of Clouden.
Yeah, about that it's funny because I think I got some kind of a mechanical problem. I would have been easily past him, but my throttle cut out on the straight, so I was down on power a lot. I think I was losing about second per lap or even more. I don't know if it was something with my controller or game inputs, but on the straights I was like 10 kph slower than every lap before. The throttle just cut out and it was fun, so I tried to make the most of it, and P3 is the best I could get.
P3 the best you could get. Good night for yourself though, really. Obviously that middle part of the season's possibly what's cost you in this championship run. You're still mathematically in it. It's going to take a miracle to win it with 108 points behind. But these last 2 weeks have been great weeks for yourself.
Yeah, great weeks, great racetracks. That's usually how it goes with me. So maybe if the calendar was a bit more old school tracks, I would have been closer to the top. But I think it's good to have some battles, good to have some mixed strategy. It's good racing. I'm not in it for the championship, I'm in it for good racing, so I really enjoyed that one.
Indeed. We go to Kyle Army next week, Overtaker. What do you hope to do around Kyle Army?
Yeah, it's one of the track I'm not most comfortable in. I think I lack pace. I definitely lack racing laps. I think the last season was the first time I even knew the track, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm not gonna be as fast as here, that's for sure, but maybe with a little bit of practice I'm gonna close the gap.
And I'm sure obviously again you're gonna want to take them 2 race wins and end the season on a high.
Yeah, that's the plan, like always.
Indeed. Well, congratulations, Overtaker, well done, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, thanks buddy, and congrats to Sally as well. He's dominating.
Yes.
First races. I think he should have started less, but anyway.
And we can move now to our Constructors Champions. We don't have Clouden or Alex Pow in with us, so we can now jump to our Constructors Champions. And first of all, we are going to start with Dan Davis. He's dropped to second in the championship, so I want to get his opinions on that as well as the Constructors. So first of all, Dan, we'll start off by saying congratulations. It's another Constructors Championship under your belt. Obviously, Formula 2 with Keegs, the 3 you won with D Biggs, and the 1 you won last season with your dad. It's another Constructors under your belt. Tell us how you must feel.
Yeah, another one in the bag, done and dusted. Done my charity work for Mike. He's a happy boy now. To be fair, Mike, we're pretty much up there, not just in the constructors, but obviously teams. We knew we were going to be a strong pairing. I think the rest of the grid knew that we were going to be a strong pairing. And it all just, we always ended up having our own problems and our own races, so it helped the team out over the season. But yeah, another constructors to the name. What more can you ask?
Obviously, we enjoy championships going to the end. No, Gary tonight kind of made this one more doable this week for you and Mike. But like you say, it's been a solid season, a strong pairing from the get-go, really, with yourself and Mike, especially Mike this season, upping his pace another level.
Yeah, I kind of just, the first half of the season was focusing purely on the McLaren of Overtaker and Nash, the Lamborghini, screaming to myself, I'm not that fast, I'm not going to be in this championship fight, and completely forgot about Mike off the radar, and Alex as well. So, you should never, anything can happen in racing, and as you can see tonight, the last 2 weeks, I've just not got it, and I think the world is trying to tell me that I'm not meant to win an Assetto championship in a pro. So,
well, this is something I want to move on to, because you said, I can't remember the race it was a few weeks back now, you said that whoever seems to lead this championship seems to have terrible luck. That's been the case for the last 2 weeks for yourself.
Race 1 tonight was just someone's stupid mistake that, can't read the conditions and the situation. And I'm not particularly happy about that, because that's just basically ruined the rest of my night. And at that point, it just snowballs after that. But what's the point? But, you got to keep going. You got to score points. Alex gained massive points. I think it's going to be difficult for him to, if we're both on our game, I think it's going to be difficult for him to, both of us. But I do feel like this has now swung more into Mike's favour. I do like Kyle Army a lot, but I've not gone well there, not in any category. So, yeah, I don't know what's ahead, and I think it's just see what happens on the day and just dial it in. I just do not like these random conditions. 1 minute it says one thing, and the next minute it's completely changed before you even get going. Ideally, I should have done what Overtaker did, but by the time I'd realised what happened, I was already in trouble. So, yeah.
Yeah, not the
tried,
night,
but nothing happened.
Not the night for yourself, Dan. Congratulations on yet another Constructors' Championship. And Kyle Army, obviously, I think you've just said you don't seem to go well there, but enjoy the track.
Well, I love the track. I don't know what this Lamborghini is going to be around. I love the track in one particular car, and that's the Porsche. I think the Porsche is amazing around there. In this, I have no idea. It seems like a lot of fast-flowing corners, so I think I'll suffer with understeer in certain corners. But from what I've seen on the radar, it's going more to the favour that I like. Although I've had a terrible night's worth of racing, you still got to come in, you still got to do the appearances and make the effort and, put a smile on your face. It's only racing, and it's only a championship at the end of the day. Whoever comes out on top, best man wins, If it's Mike, me or Alex, then, or even Overtaker, then jobs are good. But, you still got to keep going and focusing on, because it's not over until the fat lady sings. So,
Exactly.
Mike, the pressure's still on you, mate. So, if you want this championship, you've got to really work for it.
Dan, congratulations on the Constructors' Championship. I've heard 8 world titles is overrated. Lewis didn't want one. Michael didn't want one. So I've heard they're overrated.
Well, let's be honest. Pro-Am doesn't count. So.
Moving on to Mike Matthews, who is a first-time champion here at SimPlay Motorsport. He's been here from the very beginning. Obviously, Mike, we raced together in a previous league. One of the people who set up SimPlay Motorsport with myself in terms of getting everything organised and getting it to where it is today. You finally now can say you're a champion on the channel.
I know, it's like a long time coming. It's like, where's this? What's this like? Feel like it's weird.
Now,
but
the main
big
thing.
Thanks to Dan, I think, on that.
The main thing I want to point out here is we know how good D Biggs was for Shake and Bake. At the minute you're leading, over Dan Davis. At the minute you're leading over Dan Davis by 17 points. Is it fair to say that you have carried him to this Constructors' Championship?
I'd love to say yeah, but no. We've to be fair, we've both been pretty even for the constructors, because, like Dan said earlier, whoever's been leading's always had the short straw in the races. So fingers crossed that don't carry into next week. But yeah, no, I think we've been pretty even all the way through, as the Drivers' Championship shows, really.
17 points you lead by going into Kyle Army. Now, I'm not going to give anything away with weather, so nobody else do, please. But, like you've just said, like I mentioned to Dan, it is the leader of the championship has seemed to struggle every week. You go into this leading. Alex is 46 points, I believe, behind you. It is not done for anybody at the moment. Alex could be the dark horse, and Dan, well, he knows how to win a championship. Yeah.
Absolutely. We said that in during the race and the practice, saying it's going to be a tight battle. And then as soon as it went wrong for Dan, I struggled, and Alex was at the front. I thought, we're going to be just like you guys in Pro-Am. It's going to be a tight three-way shot, or anything goes at the last race.
Indeed it is. Kyle Army, though, what can you do around there? Do you like the circuit? What can you do around the circuit?
I like the circuit. I really like the circuit, but I've only driven it in the Honda. So it'll be interesting to see how this compares, because round here I'm pretty quick in the Honda, so hopefully this car isn't too dissimilar, so fingers crossed I can still get it quick round here.
Well, congratulations on the first championship, congratulations on taking the championship lead. It's going to be a heck of a fight going into Kyle Army. It is 3 drivers in Pro, I believe. In fact, Dan, is John Goudet, I believe, in still mathematically possible for...
He's like, he's exactly...
Yeah.
Like overtaking this situation, so it is 4 for the title. It is unlikely. Join myself as I will bring you all the action for Kyle Army, and don't forget as well, I don't know if Matt's mentioned it, but we will have some fun events coming up in the off season. Yes, it may be the season's over, but the fun events will be happening. We have a Formula 1 event which is looking like the drivers have picked Qatar, so we're going to have a sprint and a feature race around Qatar, which could be interesting to see, as Formula 123 is currently on sale or either free on PlayStation.
No,
so if you want to be a part of it's not anymore, so whatever. If you want to do that though, and you have got the game, then have a look on Discord on our SimGrid and get yourself signed up for that. We also bring GT7s back, and we've got the Toyota Corolla Gazoo car that we're using, and just so you know, be prepared for a bit of rallycross, be a bit prepared for a bit of snow, and be prepared for some chaos racing as well. And the last thing as well, we will probably be bringing you the one that we've all been looking forward to. It is going to be SimPlay versus FBR. Let's see who comes out on top of that. So FBR boys, you best be getting your team all sorted. I know we got some pretty strong drivers on our patch. We might have to message Alex and see if he's available. But yeah, make sure that you stay tuned for that one, because that is going to be a good one. 3 races, 3 different categories, 3 different circuits. It is going to be all out who goes on top. That is what we're looking forward to. And then obviously we will lead into season 5, where we will make a return and see how the Pro-Am boys do in Pro.
Exactly. Dates to be confirmed for Formula 1 and the SimPlay versus FBR. What 2 nights they're going to be. It is the 1st and 2nd of May for the Nations League on GT7. Alex Powell took the driver of the day in the chat. PN, driver of the day, final thoughts?
My driver of the day, well, Alex had a solid night, but as he doesn't appear very often, he had 2 top 10s. Monkey Boy, Andrew Taylor.
Fair enough.
And Spa was fun. Bring on Kyle Army and the Curb of Doom.
The Curb of Doom. I'm going to give my driver of the day to... yeah, do you know what? Yeah, 2 top 10s. We don't see Monkey Boy in the top 10 too much, so let's go Andrew Taylor for a driver of the day as well. Honourable mention to Alex Clouden, Overtaker, for a great night's worth of racing. But yeah, Spa, changeable conditions I think was the forecast for this week. Mixed conditions. We certainly got that across the 2 nights, and we certainly got a mixed bag of results. It's going to be fantastic when we head to Kyle Army. 4 for Pro-Am as well as the Constructors, 4 for the drivers in Pro. You can join Dan Davis live 8 PM BST next week for that on Wednesday night. Myself and PNMotorsport will be back 8 PM BST. But from all of us here at SimPlay Motorsport, have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.